All right, all right. No wasting time today, ladies and gentlemen. I got a boatload of crap to do. Welcome back to TikTok Trash Tuesday, a day where I go to the internet and find out, what kind of movie-related TikToks are out there. And listen, sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. We've done it for 10 weeks now. You would think that I'd start running out of stuff, but no. Dum-dums will abound and give you so much more information and so much more fuel than you could possibly ever think. But I will say this. I think this episode may be a little bit more positive than we're used to with a lot of the TikTok Trash Tuesdays. As the name might have you imagine, trash tends to usually go trashy sort of stuff. But again, I don't really watch all of these all the time, except for a couple occasions here and there. You'll find those out as we go along here and why I did what I did with them. But we're not going to take too awful long because boy, oh boy, do I have a crap load of these things, man. I thought I had a few. And I cut, honestly, I'll be honest with you, I cut out some of the longer ones, and you'll see what I did to another one. But anyways, that is it. Let's go in. I don't want to say, let me go through a little bit of housekeeping just because it's the same old bull crap as you always do. Hit the like and subscribe button right now. Thank you so much for just hanging out. That's the biggest thing in the world is that you're just there and you can, yeah, this is one thing I want to make sure. Do I have the right? I don't think I do. I don't. It was going to sound like absolute garbage, and now it sounds beautiful and sweet, doesn't it? Oh, my God. All right. So, Alex, yep, there you go. There you go. Positive. Where's the real Adam? It's, who's to say? Who's to say? But this time, I'm going to try to be positive for some things. And even in being positive, I can be negative, and I will be negative, as you might imagine, because I do what I do. Pardon me, my word. I have been sick for the last several days and everything, so I'm going to try not to cough into the mic too awful much. So if you hear this if you see me do like that a little bit, I'm probably just dying of a cough and mucus and all that kind of good stuff. But I'm here for you 10 weeks in a row. If that's not worth a like and subscribe, I don't know what is. And I want to do this starting in a lot of videos just to kind of get some crap going and whatnot. If you are watching this at any point in time, be it on the live stream, be it on the rebroadcast or whatever, the VOD and all that kind of good stuff, do me a favor, in chat, write spaghetti. That's it. There's no real reason. There's no rhyme at all. I just want the word spaghetti to start showing up. Just write spaghetti somewhere, and that would really appreciate it. And that'll just show me that people are actually paying attention to the things that are going on. Spaghetti. That's the secret word of the day. I think it's going to be like Pee-wee's Playhouse, right? We're just going to have a secret word of the day. People go to the comments, and if they weren't paying attention or they fast forward too much far through or whatever like that, they get out and they're like, what the hell is everybody talking about spaghetti for? Spaghetti. See? Alex did it. Why can't you do it? Write in spaghetti, you SOBs. All right. Let's get into it. I've got a lot of these things to do. Like and subscribe, patreon.com/HMP. Thank you to all the dirty babies who make this show possible. And honestly, we are knocking on the door of 20,000 subscribers over on our YouTube page. So if you are not subscribed there, please, for the love of Pete, hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate that. Let's start with my first one here. I've got a whole edited video as I normally do. This first video came in at the last possible second, and I just had to put it into the show itself. So you'll forgive me if it's separate from everyone else. But she is a favorite on this show. You've seen her here before.
Cover all of someone's secrets by getting 3 movies out of them. The
Mandy's
favorite
got
movie.
some good takes.
This
Let's
is the
find
movie
out.
they love above all others. It also serves an autobiographical function. It is self-expressive. It's what they would say in a corporate icebreaker where they are asked what their favorite movie is.
All right. For me so far, I'm going to tell you, and I think a lot of you folks out there that have been big fans of the podcast over the years and everything, you know that my answer is Back to the Future. See if let's see if I'm right.
Therefore, it is not enough. You also need the formative movie. We don't get to pick our formative movies. We're teenagers.
Formative movie, teenagers. Okay, let me see. Let me make sure at the end she says
We're minding our own business. Suddenly and randomly, who we are as a person yawns open. This movie walks in. It explodes.
what is that one movie that just kind of made it in the formative years though? Pulp Fiction. I'd say, yeah, like First Blush and everything. Now that I'm really thinking about it, high school, what's that one that kind of like made the difference? Pulp Fiction. Pulp Fiction was a big one. I hit the wrong tick. There we go. Where's it at? There you are. There's my logo. Pulp Fiction, big one for me on that one. Look, Adam's future ex-wife. Hey, listen, man. There's always another spot. She lives in South Carolina, everybody. By the way, Mandy, if you ever want to come on this podcast and talk movies, she's got a million of these director takes and all this other stuff. And even outside of her movie stuff, very, very funny. I'm here to tell you, she writes good stuff, and she's writing her material and stuff, and she's very, very smart. Good job on you. But my formative movie gonna be Pulp Fiction.
There's shrapnel everywhere. You couldn't clean it out of there even if you wanted to.
Yeah.
The comfort movie is a cool hand on a hot forehead. The comfort movie never gets old.
Well, so that kind of goes into the same Back to the Future, because that is like the favorite and comfort kind of go together. Do I want to change favorite to Star Wars at that point? But that seems kind of obvious, but I don't know. Can they be the same? Do I get yelled at for doing both?
Comfort movie will never let you down.
Yeah, it's Back to the
And
Future.
so it might sound something like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
I just watched that on 4K again. Mwah. Beautiful looking. I will say this, though. I think this is a really good sign for me because I was watching that and a couple other films and kind of, the regular detest fest that we all have every now and then, where you watch some movies and stuff that kind of just make you feel depressed and sad and all that kind of stuff, just to kind of it's like listening to the blues music. Somehow it can make you feel better. So I watched Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, which is one of those movies that obviously, because it has to deal with relationships and, forgetting someone and always realizing that the memory of them needs to be there. And that's what kind of makes that an important thing. It didn't affect me nearly as much this time. I feel like, it's still all the major points and everything are there, but it didn't feel like I was being drug as much as I used to in the old days and stuff. So that's I feel like that's a good sign. I feel like that's a sign of me growing, but it's on the list. I got it on 4K, so yeah.
Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet. Rocky IV. Be careful.
Rocky IV. Okay.
With this question.
I got to go with the Rocky IV, the Stallone director's cut, if I'm honest with you, because that's the one that's actually good. It makes the movie shorter. It cuts out the robot bit, which is all stupid. Highly recommend the director's cut of Rocky IV.
Because it will help you see into someone's soul. But how else will you know if you want to suck it out of them?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, my soul is sitting right here, raring to go. So hit me in the DMs. All right, let's get into the full official one here, boys and girls. This is the one that I cobbled up together. It's the internet. Let's have
all the singing and all the acting and all the
Walk Hard's musical journey with John C. Reilly, who sounds a little like Kermit if you close your eyes.
I played 14 years old at the beginning of the movie. I think we wrote 35 original songs in 6 months, before we started shooting. I mean, a lot of people don't write 35 songs in their whole career. We had this amazing stable of songwriters and musicians around the movie. Mike Andrews and Mike Viola and Dan Byrne. Marshall Crenshaw wrote the title song. So yeah, we were kind of it was this sort of musical laboratory. And in a weird way, that was part of the writing process of the movie, because the script had places for these, then he sings a 1950s ballad, all right, we got to come up. What would this character, what would he say?
Okay, wow. Thanks for the full context here and everything, guys. He's absolutely right, though. And I think Walk Hard, The Legend of Dewey Cox is such a good movie because they took the music so seriously, because they took a look at the kind of biopic genre and really just kind of reamed it and tore it apart and everything. And the shocking thing to me is they kept still making biopics in nearly the exact same manner, continuously so. I mean, I guess it's, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And even if somebody points it out and goes, how ridiculous is this? You can still go like, yeah, but we like it though.
Everyone thinks they're a critic.
Yeah. And in a sense, perhaps they are.
People shouldn't post or attempt to talk critically about a film online unless they went to film school.
I don't believe that's true at all, despite myself actually going to film school. See, this is something that you're not going to find a lot of people actually do, is say, hey, I've been to film school, and I don't think that you need to go to film school to have any of this stuff. Most of those people really want to justify the money that they spent. Me, I just get, no, that's bullcrap.
This is a ridiculous take I hear time and time again on
Oh, thank God thank God that I was fairly certain, but you never know. You never know. It's the internet.
here. I love my friends that studied film in school, but you do not need a formal education in this to engage in art critically.
No, no, you don't. But here, I don't want to say things like, oh, but a college education helps you, because it doesn't. Not really. Critical thinking does. Here's the thing. Both sides that are complaining either way are babies. If you were on the side that just goes, you need to have a film degree if you want to talk about that, you're a baby. If you're on the other side, you're just going, but I'm a film critic even though that I don't have, just shut up and do what you want to do.
For example, Roger Ebert studied classic literature.
Oh, and by the way, a lot of people that are newspaper reporters and stuff like Roger Ebert and stuff back in the day that started out, doing the reviews in papers, most of those cats weren't even interested in movies to begin with. They were given that beat. Sometimes they were like regular art critics. Sometimes they were just doing whatever else. But they were like, hey, we got to send you down to the Metroplex here to go see this movie and review it for us. They do. And all of a sudden that becomes their beat. And that was never what they were intending on doing in their career. And then they do it for like 40 years, and then they retire and they're like, well, I'm out of here. And it's like, what did you ever even accomplish?
Gene Siskel studied philosophy. Colleen Kael studied philosophy and literature before
Yeah, because all of those, like, let's be honest, critical work is a lot of jagoff stuff. So
dropping out of school. The Atlantic's David Sims studied literature. The Ringer's Amanda Dobbins studied classic literature.
Who?
Now, I don't consider myself a critic. And even though I
want to go on record here as well, saying I don't consider myself a critic per se, despite the fact that we review movies and have been doing so for well over a decade on H&P Volume 1 and now Volume 2. I review things. I'm a movie reviewer for sure, but I wouldn't go so far as to say that I'm a movie critic. I think I would have to do a lot more in-depth stuff in order to consider myself a critic. And that even includes doing like video. If I was doing like video essays and stuff like that, I could consider myself more of a movie critic in that case. I'm a guy who reviews movies and wants to relate my love or hatred of whatever it is that I'm watching. And hopefully that me enough over the time that you go, oh, I agree with his taste or I disagree with his taste, so you'll know whether to or not watch a movie.
I only studied acting and mental health counseling. I am going to still talk about movies in a critical lens.
You're totally welcome to, my mans.
Mid-90s was not a skateboarding movie.
First of all, I'm loving to see my guy here doing some movie-related stuff as opposed to just skateboarding. Love the skateboard and stuff. That's what I'm around there for. That's what I started for. But man, oh man, you swing over into my movie lane here a little bit. You got my attention. And he's talking about mid-90s, and I would say that mid-90s, which I loved, by the way. Jonah Hill is just a smidge younger than I am. And though I did not grow up in California, the experience of watching mid-90s felt like kind of growing up. It felt like how we interacted with each other. Like it wasn't in the LA scene. It was in a small rural town in South Carolina, but the vibe and everything was the same. It was the same sort of thing. We acted the same way. It felt very real and very pulled from life, that movie. But was it a skateboarding movie? No. And I think we're going to get into why that is.
Wasn't even about skateboarding. It was a coming-of-age teenage film where the main characters just happened to skateboard. If you took out all the skateboarding in that movie and just had them do literally anything else, It would not change the movie.
Okay, what could they be doing in the mid-90s if they were not skateboarding? They could be BMXing. There was a lot of BMXing and stuff that was going on kind of your mid-90s. This is all X Games era and whatnot. So they could be riding bikes. That could be something.
Even a little bit. Grind, Street Dreams, Gleaming the Cube, Lords of Dogtown. These are skateboarding movies.
Yeah, you take away the skateboarding out of those movies and the movie cease to exist. You take the skateboarding out of mid-90s, the movie still exists in all of its glory. You literally could take all of the scenes out. Now, they wouldn't look as beautiful because there's some very cool, nice, kind of flowy shots there and everything. Looks very good. But you don't need skateboarding in order for that movie to happen. No.
These are movies about skateboarding. Now, I know before mid-90s came out, they were like, finally, we're going to make a movie about skateboarding. But guys, it isn't. And to all you delusional people that say that mid-90s is one of the best skateboarding films of all time, you are so wrong. I respect the fact that they used real professional skateboarders in mid-90s. But the movie was about an angsty kid that started hanging out with older kids. There's been a million movies about that. It had nothing to do with the fact that he skateboards. For instance, in Street Dreams and Grind, the whole point of the movie is that the main characters are trying to become professional skateboarders.
Or we're trying to save a rec center. Those are usually the two plots.
And that's why those are movies about skateboarding. But mid-90s, mid-90s, decent movie. But don't put it in the category of like skateboarding movies.
Absolutely. Preach on that one, man. Not a skateboarding movie, despite being a good movie. Correct. Much like Christmas movies, if you took Christmas out of the equation, would the movie still exist? Die Hard, you can't take Christmas out of the equation because John McClane is there on account of Christmas.
One phrase I wish we could lose on
He's back again. Boy, oh boy. I've just, he must have had a couple of hot ones in there. Let's see what this take is.
TikTok is the performative film fan.
Okay, let's see what we
It
got.
feels like the new way people are rewording calling someone's film taste pretentious. Genuine question. Could it be that the movies that you see as performative are actually what that person likes?
If they say Merchant in Ivory, I know they're lying. I think there's a lot of people that lie about the stuff that they like. Because they do. And maybe they do. But like when people say like, "Oh, I love the 400 blows," I always ask them why. Why? And you know what? They never really come up with super great answers. Not really. Not ones that you go like, "Oh, I can totally see why." It's usually just like, "Well, the filmmaking is." It's like you've been told to like this, and that's what you know. That's what you feel that you must tell other people in order for them to think that you are a cineast or whatever the hell you'd like to be called.
Using phrases or insults like performative film fan calls into question someone else's taste.
Yeah, I call into question taste all the time. What do you think we're doing on this show?
Uses the assumption that your own taste is the general consensus of what being a fan of film is.
No, but it is the correct assumption. If it's what I'm thinking, it should be what everybody's thinking. And if it's not, that's your fault.
I often see these phrases being used towards people that like non-English language films, slow cinema, or films from film history. Maybe
It all depends upon context, and it all depends upon what they give you. But there are those people, if you look at their Letterboxd top 4, you're like, who are you trying to impress?
we can find a different way of saying, wow, it seems like you enjoy different movies than me.
Nah, we just tell them they suck. Just say, hey, quit being a pretentious prick. Start being an actual human being. We got 5 people in the watching right now. Spaghetti is the secret word of the day. I don't know if you guys have been chatted in on this one, but throw spaghetti in the chat if you're down with the clown. I don't know what that means.
All right, so it finally happened. I knew at some point it was bound to happen, but it finally did.
What happened?
Where I ended up with a 1-star, very negative review.
Okay, so like I guess he's never done a 1-star review before. Whew. My guy, you need to see a Neil Breen movie, my man. That'll take you right down to reality.
Specifically for our blind horror movie night box, let me state that. Now, when you're offering anything, especially a product, I mean, there are people that are just not going to like it, and I am 100%.
Oh, I thought he was talking about a movie. What? All right, he's reviewing something, but I thought it was going to be a movie.
Okay with that, which is why the box is centered around the movie inside, and that being the blind aspect to it. So in the videos, I show everything but, the unwrapped movie, and then there are variations of the different items inside, but I show everything of what you're getting. So this person was upset that there was one bag of popcorn in it, one bag of candy.
I guess he sells something. Okay. All right. Here's what's going on. I think I've put it together now. I didn't know who this cat was. I just thought this was a 1-star review when we were talking about movies. Apparently he owns some sort of company and somebody gave him a 1-star review and he's none the happier about it, I guess.
And a bunch of, quote, 3D printed junk. It doesn't hurt my feelings. It's all right. It just means that my product wasn't for you. But I do make those videos so that people can make informed decisions. So it is a little bit confusing, but I can make this to kind of help set the record straight on that. One, I don't get my movies from Walmart. Well, my movies are from Walmart, but the ones for the boxes are not from Walmart. I do have to source them from a couple of different locations, but I'm not looking to have very, very obvious picks in there, so Walmart's out of the question. There's a single bag of popcorn and one box of candy because the movie night might just be you. Each 3D printed item has a purpose. I'm
sorry about this one, guys. I didn't know we were going over his
you make sure that I show everything up close so that you can tell that they are 3D printed. However, I've probably never mentioned that they are 3D printed, so I'll take that. But I appreciate the purchase all the same, and I'm sorry that it wasn't for you.
You sons of bitches. You never review anything again. Especially not this podcast.
You wanna know what's wild to me? Is people in the horror community or people in the movie community as a whole, when someone doesn't agree with them in the movies that they like, they crash the F out.
Yeah, it is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I mean, like, let people like what they like, and if you don't like it, you don't like it, and just go like, all right. And let that be a warning to you that the person that you're talking to might be, a bit of a chucklehead. They might not know what they're talking about. And you just go like, oh, you think that's a good movie? And you think that's a good movie? And you think that's it. All right. We're going to just throw you off the table here because your opinion don't matter.
Like, they will literally call you every name in the book. There will be every ism because you don't like what they like.
Silly.
What I think a lot of people fail to realize is that art is subjective. Movies are art, okay? And I don't have to go along with your vision. Just because you think this movie's great, I don't have to like it. Nobody has to like it. Yeah. One person say the Mona Lisa's smiling, another person says the Mona Lisa isn't smiling. But
now, if one of them says the Mona Lisa is shopping at a 7-Eleven, that one's a liar.
Do you question that person about the Mona Lisa? No, because we have two different opinions about the Mona Lisa. So
Mona Lisa's wearing a leather jacket. See, that's not an opinion. That's just somebody being wrong.
Please, when you go inside somebody's comments telling them how they wrong about the movie that you like and they didn't like and the whole world likes, but they just being difficult, they doing rage bait, how about you sit down and say, oh man, let me look at it from their point of view.
I do. And I accuse a couple of people throwing out TikTok Trash Tuesday and everything of being kind of rage baiters and whatnot. But it's only because that's what they're doing. It's like you're either rage baiting or you're stupid. Which is it? I mean, because neither answer is really good, but it is going to be one or those other answers. It's either you're stupid or you're a rage baiter. Pick one.
And see why they didn't like it.
And then when you find out that they were stupid and wrong and dumb, then you can just call them out on that. But yeah, I mean, until you hear what, just be judicious about it.
Come to my Drew Talk.
Thanks, Drew.
It's been 10 years since the release of It Follows in theaters.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
So here's a short list of better horror movies that have been released since.
Oh, now if my guess is a lot of you guys are It Follows fans. It made the rounds a good bit. Is that out on 4K yet? I got it on the Blu-ray, but I wonder. But he's got movies that he says are as good or better than the fun. All right, let's rock and roll.
And I mean a short list, because I have It Follows rated as a 10 out of 10, so I can only compare this against other 10 out of 10s.
Oh my word. Trippy head, let's go.
Not all 10 out of 10s are created equal.
There was an old woman at school today.
For instance, my most recent 10 out of 10 is Weapons, but this is not better than It Follows.
I don't know. Better's a different thing. I didn't put Weapons at a 10 out of 10. I don't know about that, but I don't know. I listen. I agree. I agree, though. I did like Weapons, and the people that said that they didn't like Weapons are slow bus.
Neither is Nosferatu from last year.
Also not on the highest of the list for me either.
Push comes to shove, I would.
However, The Substance, yeah, I would put that up in the same kind of categories as It Follows for sure.
Would rank The Substance above It Follows. Same with Dr. Sleep and Hereditary.
Hereditary, yes. Dr. Sleep, no. Did like both of the movies, do own both of the movies, but that's how it shakes.
All things considered, it's been 10 years since the release.
It still kicks ass.
And these are the only 3 horror movies that I think are ever so slightly better.
I'd have to get a big old spreadsheet of all the movies and stuff like that, so I kind of go through and whatnot. But it's tough to get a tenner in there, man. Yeah, there we go. Absolutely correct. Gerbo says Dr. Sleep was way better than I thought it would be. Dude, I was so scared. I was scared of this movie. I was like, why would we want to see this? It seems like such a silly move to go back and like, we're going to do a sequel to The Shining. What a horrid idea that sounded like. But then Mike Flanagan comes in and sure shooting, buddy, does a pretty good job. The only thing I really hated about that movie was Rebecca Ferguson's hat. Hated that hat.
Happy 10-year anniversary, It Follows. I fucking love you.
Happy birthday.
Craig.
My favorite part about It Follows is like how the girl is like reading a Kindle book on a like a makeup compact. We don't mention nothing of it. It's just like, hey, here's this weird ass future device out of nowhere. Anything else? Nah. Yeah, that part was scary as hell in the theater.
What's going on with movie marketing these days?
All right, this is going to be a long one, but we got our boy Keith Laser on the mic. Let's see what he got.
And what does it mean for the future of cinema? We all know less people go to the cinema these days, and there are myriad reasons for that.
You know how I feel, boys and girls. You know the reason I think movies are down, especially Monday through Thursday. All movies should cost a total of $5. That's right, $5 to see whatever movie you want to see at whatever time of day, Monday through Thursday. Friday, we only go up just a little bit. Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays, we go up just a tiny little bit, but that's about it. And then we get all the concessions down to where you have a movie ticket and a popcorn and a drink for $10. That's how you get asses back in the seats. Then you start doing what we're doing this weekend. We're putting out movies like Jaws again. You want people to go to the movies? Put out good movies and put out movies that you know are good, that you know can get butts in seats. That's how you get the whole movie industry back on track, to be quite frank. Get us in love with the movies again. Movies were made for people that were paupers, that were the poor people who couldn't, go to the actual theater. They'd have to go to the movie theater. It's different. And we have to stop treating it like, going to see a movie is like going to see a concert. It shouldn't be that bloody expensive.
But when you do go to the theater, why? We know the trends have shown that people want a big event, a reason to dress up, follow a gimmick, or bring a live chicken. They like IMAX screens and crazy popcorn buckets, which
to do God knows what with.
Makes sense. A lot of us are broke and we've got nice TVs at home for an average drama, but when that formula fails, it fails.
Hold on. You think I got an average television and stuff at home, my friend? Oh, my friend, that is so cute. Pound for pound, my home theater kicks the crap out of any multiplex that you've gone to. Pound for pound. Now, if you put my system in those big giant theaters, of course, it's not going to be the same. But pound for pound, in the size room that it is, I will take the Pepsi Challenge any day against any multiplex theater as far as picture and sound goes. Stomp them.
Spectacularly. A lot of movies are flopping or underperforming, and every time that happens, I see a lot of people saying, I didn't even know this movie existed, or I didn't know it was out.
Of course, Elio, who knew that was out? And then it was crap. Look at the Bean Mouth. I got to look at that video that's talking about how the Bean Mouth animation has kind of been the downfall of Pixar and stuff. Bean Mouth. Think about that.
Keep in mind, most people seem to be repulsed by movie advertisements, so there seems to be some cognitive dissonance.
The Inside Out movies, great movies, no Bean Mouth.
There. Whenever I see a bunch of ads, I know the movie must be bad. I see those comments all the time, so do you want to know about the movie or don't you?
Here's the problem. We don't want to know the entire bloody plot of the movie. That's the thing. Make us entertain. Get us excited to see the movie. When I watch, like, when any Star Wars movie came out in the last, 4 or 5 movies plus that have been out, I would only watch the teaser trailer, which for the most part was just kind of a vibe trailer. They're like, here's what this movie is going to kind of be about. Here's it, like, dun, it's Star Wars. It got you hyped for Star Wars without telling you what's in the movie. Subsequent trailers started ruining things in the movie. So just watch the teaser trailer and you were A-okay. I think we need more of that. I think we need less of spoilers and other bullcrap in trailers because no one wants to be spoiled. And again, do like I said previously, do alternate weird cuts like they did in Paranormal Activity 3, where in the trailer they showed you where the Bloody Mary's scare was and everything, and then in the movie it was not in that spot. It was super, super smart. And you just got to be smarter about it. And unfortunately, Hollywood has kind of a drought on smart lately.
I do think a lot of the onus is on the audience. When I was growing up, you didn't really see a lot of ads. There might be a trailer on a DVD or a poster somewhere.
You had to go to a movie theater to see a trailer, man. When the episode 1 trailer came out, people bought tickets to see some animated movie or whatever the hell it was because they had to go see that trailer. And that was the only way to see that trailer. Quick example of a new version of that is the brand new Avatar movie, whatever subtitle thing we're calling that. That was out with, I forget what the movie was, but I saw it. It was a Fantastic Four, was it? But they showed you, hey, here's this Avatar trailer. This was the only way that you could see it because I'd go home and I'd be like, man, I'd like to see the Avatar trailer again. And it's not on the internet. It's not there. Now they had to put it out because somebody ended up leaking it or whatever. But it's how you get people excited for the movies.
Maybe a TV spot or in a magazine. But mostly we just had to look at what was playing. We would pick up this thing called a newspaper and see what was out that day. Movies were often star driven back then. Ooh, it's got Russell Crowe.
Keith, you're showing your age a little bit, my friend. You're showing your age just a little bit here, son, because Russell Crowe was not a giant star at this point. No, sir. Maybe he was nominated for an Academy Award and all this kind of good stuff, but let me tell you this right now. He was not a household name. No, sirree, Bob. It was this movie that would make him a household name, but no one went to see this movie because of Russell Crowe. People went to see this movie because of Ridley Scott.
Ooh, it's Denzel Washington. Ooh, Leo DiCaprio, Kate Winslet, Johnny Depp, Heath.
No, again, Keith, you weren't old enough to remember because I was in high school when Titanic came out and all the girls saw it a million times. And I was like, they're seeing this more than we see Star Wars. It's unbelievable. But at the time, yeah, people were not like, some people went to go see that. Like the ladies went to go see it for Leo, for sure. But like there was a majority of people out there that, Leonardo DiCaprio was not quite the name for them yet. But James Cameron, the guy who made Aliens and stuff, certainly was.
Ledger, Eddie Murphy, Halle Berry, Julia Stiles, Kirsten Dunst, Jim Carrey. I'm in. Like ads, people seem to be.
No one lined up to see a Kirsten Dunst movie. Come on, gang.
Repulsed by stardom now as well, which is fine because on the one hand, the celebrity aspect of movie culture has always been more of a gross hindrance to the art form than a helpful one. But on the other hand, it feels like people despise when someone is too successful now.
That's not what I'd call his situation, but okay.
They're waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Well, but the shoe's already done dropped. He's overexposed. We're all sick of Pedro. Who's sick of Pedro in the chat? Say boo Pedro in the chat if you're kind of tired of Pedro.
I like seeing you succeed, but now you're just like insisting upon yourself. So stop, go away. But it's not just the audience. A lot of distributors are dropping the ball in major ways in terms of marketing and exhibition. A24 will hype everybody up and then drop the movie in 500 theaters across the country. Good reviews are pouring in and nobody can see it. 3 weeks later, it gets a wide release and then nobody cares anymore. Then 3 months later, it comes out in Europe and the Brits are all like, this movie Sing Sing gets high marks from me, mate, isn't it? And we're all like, get a load of this guy. I tried to get tickets to Highest to Lowest tomorrow, the newest Spike Lee film starring Denzel Washington, and it's still not playing anywhere near me.
Where do you guys live? Because I live in the what we'll call, last time I remember, it was like the 26th largest city in the U.S., Charlotte. So that's the closest big city and everything. They've had it. Where do you guys live? I wonder because I see a couple other people, and even one that I don't mention anymore because I'm done with him. He was like, "Oh, everybody should go see that movie," and then he didn't go see it. So I thought that was hilarious.
Even though it came out last week, I couldn't get it. So again, I ask, what does make you go to the movie theater? A critic's review, a movie influencer, an interview on Hot Ones, just a trailer, a friend recommending it? Does word of mouth even work when they don't even stay in theaters very long anymore? I've been thinking a lot about what's going on, and it might mean something positive. We might as well be optimistic. If you look at the highest grossing movies of the year, you get the same bleak picture that we've been getting for a decade or more. Sequels, remakes,
I thought he was going to say China.
Franchise IP wall to wall. But if you zoom out and look at profitability, not global box office, it paints a different picture.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Keith is about to go off. I am sure of it because man, oh man, if he's going to say what I think he's going to say, he is dead on right.
A much more heartening one. Mission Impossible Final Reckoning may be one of the highest grossing movies of the year, but it had a budget reportedly close to $400 million, plus marketing costs. So even though it made all that money, it might still lose Paramount close to $200 million. A similar story can be told for movies like Thunderbolts, Snow White, and Captain America Brave New World. They did well, but still disappointed in terms of the global domination that people expect. You don't invest $200 million and hope for a profit of 30 or 40 million.
Oh man, they have been, and again, in accordance with theater prices and stuff going down, right? Hollywood budgets need to go down. This is another fact of reality that Hollywood needs to come to grips with. Is that you guys are spending far too much money. You have been living high on the hog for far too long, and you need to cut it down. There's no reason that anybody out here should be making $300 million movies. There's no reason. Unless you're like a James Cameron who, for whatever crazy ass reason, seems to be able to come up and and recoup some of that bread. Unless you're a wild one like that, I don't want to see you even attempting that crap, dude. Like unless you're gonna have that James Cameron like ROI, forget about it. It's over. It's over, people. Y'all gotta stop.
It's just not worth the risk. Now contrast that with a movie like Sinners, made for $90 million and bringing in $365 million.
Now, granted, also so I'm going to talk about this because I talked about it previously. Is even that's ridiculous. There is zero reason why Sinners needed to cost $90 million. No. And they backed up the truck for Coogler. And listen, it paid off, as you can see, $385 million off of a $90 million budget. The gamble paid off. But it sets a horrible precedent that you needed $90 million to make a movie that looked like Sinners, that was taking place in the majority of one location. I'm sorry. That's bullcrap. That is money that was, I don't want to say laundered, but it was badly spent.
Million. Final Destination Bloodlines made $285 million and only cost $50. 28.
That's what we need. This is why horror right now, ladies and gentlemen, is the most interesting genre out there. They are doing the most with the least amount of money, and guess what? Artistically and monetarily, it's paying off.
8 years later, made for $60 million, bringing in $160. Weapons cost $40 million and has so far made over $150 million.
Wow.
Materialists and One of Them Days, they made like $50 and $75 million respectively, but they only cost $14 to $20 million.
Exactly. It's what you got to do, man.
Monkey didn't do great, but it only cost $10 million. I'm just saying that even though it still seems to be true that most people still want big event cinema, IMAX screens with known IP, it might be the safer investment to make the kind of movie that we've mostly lost up until now. The mid-budget dramas, the rom-coms and comedies. Unique stories that even if they are sequels, take risks and or have something to say and drive conversation. It would be cool if that's the lesson being learned and more of those get made.
You think Hollywood is learning lessons, my friend? I didn't know we was turning this into a comedy video. Alex says, is it live live? I don't know. The English language is a weird one, is it? I live about 40 miles outside of Indianapolis. It's playing about 20 miles from us. See, exactly. That's Indianapolis. You guys are, I don't know what your, I can't remember what your market number is. I used to, when I was working in TV, I knew a lot of the top, 25 to 30. What's next?
So M. Night Shyamalan posted this on his Instagram today.
Uh-huh.
I was 10 years old when Signs came out, and I remember seeing that Newsweek magazine at a grocery store.
Listen, it was the talk of the town, man. Things were going about, and I will tell you this, man. M. Night Shyamalan is kind of the poster boy for put your name on it. He was not a successful filmmaker before The Sixth Sense. He'd done a movie about, you know, Catholicism, as you might imagine. That didn't light up the airways as much as you might your Sunday school teacher might suspect. So that didn't kill it. He had one or two other scripts or whatever, but he knew deep down in his soul that The Sixth Sense was going to be the thing. He wrote that and then basically was like, "Hey guys, here's my new movie. I've written it. I will be the one that's directing it. The bidding war starts Monday." The ballsiest move in the world for this guy who ain't nothing, to go out there and like flop it right there on the table for everybody and say, "Who wants some?" And son of a gun, they all wanted some. Huge giant bidding war. And then that movie was so successful. He was so adept at, what we would imagine would be like, getting this young actor to give this amazing performance. Turns out Haley Joel Osment was freaking amazing. I don't want to say he didn't need M. Night Shyamalan. M. Night Shyamalan's words in his mouth really helped his case and everything, but Haley Joel Osment, I don't think he needed acting help from M. Night Shyamalan. If you've seen M. Night Shyamalan's cameos in his movie, he ain't directing a lot of the acting.
I had this core memory unlock in my brain. I remember just staring at this thing blankly, and my mom said to me, "Tu gadda ki tarah kya dekh raha hai?"
Hey, this is a family channel.
And that means, what are you looking at like a donkey? South Asian moms can be very brutal. I remember this being a moment in my 10-year-old brain where I was like, hold on. South Asians are directing Hollywood movies?
Yeah.
Wait, can I do that?
It was kind of a big deal too. And like, I think people treated it like they weren't, at the time, they weren't like, oh, wow. But it was like, hey, this is pretty cool. That we've got an Indian guy that's in here and just saying like, hey, I'm going to make this film, and like, and being wildly successful and not being, certainly at that time, just another white guy, which was pretty much the majority of directors at that point. To see this, this young brown guy come up and actually start kicking ass, it was a big deal.
I guess why that's significant is because most South Asians, when we're growing up, we're not told we can be filmmakers. We're told we can be doctors, engineers, own businesses, or accountants, and that's it. And if you do anything else, you're a shame to the family. And behold, my fate was sealed. Yeah, I mean, Signs is such an important movie for me. It influenced so much of my taste in movies and what I love about filmmaking, what filmmaking can be. I mean, I literally keep this hat that I bought at Super Yankee on my dashboard just to remember, like, why I'm doing any of this. I just listened to this interview with Steven Soderbergh on Team Deakins, and he was talking about how Jaws changed everything for him. It was the first time he really started paying attention to the directed by credit. And Signs is that movie for me. It's the first time I started paying attention to the directed by credit. So I am super curious, do you remember the first time you started paying attention to the directed by credit?
That is a good question. I can't tell you when. It's just something that's, I guess, maybe ingrained in me for a very long time. But that's awesome, man. That is awesome that he saw, someone who looks like him doing something that wasn't normally prescribed for, that type of person, and doing it so at an unbelievably high level as M. Night Shyamalan was at that point. And to then, inspire this dude to actually get into filmmaking and stuff like that, that is flipping awesome, dude. I love that.
So this prompt is going around on Twitter right now. 4 movies I hate with a passion.
I like Michael. Michael is a guy I follow on the app here and everything. He's got some young guy, got some interesting takes. I'm always looking to see what the young people are saying because I'm old as hell now. So I got to go I'm like, what are the kids talking about?
I'm going to do 3 because while I hate a lot of films, like there's not enough that I hate with that much.
Ooh, all right. Let me look at this little thing right here. 3 movies that I hate. Okay. Anora. I haven't seen Anora yet still, believe it or not. I wanted to pick it up during the Criterion sale, but I went to the sale late and nothing else was there. The Life of Chuck. Fully agree. Life of Chuck, piece of garbage. Love Exposure. Requiem for a Dream. I understand why you might not like Requiem for a Dream, but you cannot tell me Requiem for a Dream is a bad movie. You could say you don't like it. You did like it makes you feel icky while you're watching it, but I don't think you can watch that and be like, that's a horribly made film. It might not be your taste, but it ain't badly made. I'll tell you that.
passion right now to talk about them. So let's go. All right, first up, we got Good Will Hunting.
I could understand it. Let's see what he's got.
Saw this in theaters, paid my precious money.
In theaters? Michael, did you see a reissue of this in theaters? Because I wasn't old enough to see this in theaters, and ain't no way you older than me, homie. I mean, I know black don't crack, but my word.
Earlier this year to go see it.
Ah, there it is. Okay. I was getting upset here. I was like, who's taking a 4-year-old to go see Good Will Hunting? It didn't make sense to me. Thank God, this year. All right, okay, fine.
In a theater. Terrible. Y'all got to stop with this one. I'm going to rewatch it at some point. Maybe make a video. This is terrible. I hate this.
You need to understand a little bit about the time and stuff that things were, how things were kicking around at that time. You know, like for example, you might watch something like Clerks and go like, I'm not 100% sure on this one, and then you like kind of learn the backstory and everything, and then you go, oh, or same thing with like not Desperado, but the guitar player one, El Mariachi.
This movie a lot. Bring Her Back. I stated on multiple.
Oh, dude, you hated Bring Her Back, my dude. That's a rough one, man. That movie was awesome.
Occasions, whether it's in lives or in posts, like this is the worst film of the 2020s so far.
Wow, what a crazy take. This movie was amazingly good. I didn't know nothing about it going in. Maybe that might have been his problem. Maybe you might have thought something, but I didn't know nothing about the movie. I just knew it was called Bring Her Back. I'm like, all right, let's go. And boy, was I was thrilled with it, man. Great job. And it's one of my probably top 10 of the year for sure.
Absolutely atrocious movie. I've never regretted going to the cinema more than when I saw this film.
Oh, you need to see some more stuff, dude, because there is so much worse than this.
That night, so yeah, Bring Her Back. This was a short film, but Ari Aster, Strange Thing About the Johnsons. Anybody who's seen this film, I don't think it's hard to guess why I hate this movie. Ari Aster, what fiery hate brews inside me whenever I think about this one.
I haven't seen that one, so I cannot speak on it.
Although it's not too often. Hate. Let me know what films you hate with a passion.
Guillermo says Bring Her Back is on my list for the horror season. I'm telling you, it is a good one. I need to watch Talk to Me, their first movie. So that movie made me go like, ooh, I want to see that other one. Still hadn't had a chance to sit down with it yet.
Top 10 dirty crack house movies of all time.
What are we talking about? Dirty crack house movies. What's defined as a dirty crack house movie?
Dirty crack house movie classifies as a movie that a mother in a dirty crack house movie would turn on. Her child needs to watch.
Okay. Oh my God, I gotta let me cough a little bit and play more.
Watch a movie, she's letting up her pipe and she has to pick up a DVD off the ground. These are the movies that would get picked up. And for clarification, these aren't getting ranked based off of how good they are. They're getting ranked based off of how much of a dirty crack house movie they really are.
All right, I gotta say Kangaroo Jack gotta be up there. Kangaroo Jack's up there for sure. Shark Tale's at the bottom. Shark Tale's like it. Listen, it ain't Finding Nemo, but it ain't Aliens in the Attic. Did I see that one? Even I didn't see that one.
At 10, we've got G-Force. You can bet your ass this is getting played in dirty crack houses throughout the country. Is it good? No, it's terrible. But is it cheap? Yeah. At 9, we've got Planet 51. Low budget space animated movies are just made for the crack house. This is
low budget animated movies are just made for the crack house. Fantastic.
There's no exception. At 8, going with that, we have Mars Needs Moms.
Yeah, I agree. That's a crack house. I mean, like, that's not the dirtiest of crack houses. I feel like that one's that's not as dirty. It's just, yeah, but it is kind of, yeah, it's animated.
I've got inside intel that crack houses love this movie. This is an up in quality, but at 7, we've got Robots. I have seen
Robots is a 100% crackhead house. Sure. 100%.
In this DVD everywhere, there is a high chance it's in a bunch of crack houses throughout the country. At 6, we have Shark Tale. Once again, better in quality. Good chance it's getting played in crack houses, though. At 5,
it's like, listen, it's a little bit better, but don't get me wrong. Every now and then, the crack house has a good take.
5, we have Kangaroo Jack.
100%.
Fucking look at this thing. In the 4 slot, I'm going to go with Son of the Mask. If you're having
hella Crack House, Son of the Mask. 100%.
a bad movie night, please turn this on. In the 3
Whoa, hold on. Trilly in the chat says, I object to Kangaroo Jack. It's actually not that bad. Here's the thing, though. He did say it can still be a quote-unquote good movie and still be a Crack House movie. The Crack House is not dependent upon whether or not the movie is good. Shark Tale is better than that. Still belongs in the Crack House.
slot is Aliens in the Attic. This came out in a certain phase in culture when movies like this were getting made, and it might be the best example of it. In 2, we're going to go with Speed Racer.
Maybe. I mean, because it's got racing involved in it. I think that's like, crackhead. There might be a little bit of a redneck in there too. They sometimes they go hand in hand.
Every crack house mother has this on their floor, I promise you. But the #1 dirty crack house movie of all time, it is no debate. It's in the Jordan and LeBron conversation, is Space Chimps. Let me know what you guys think. See you guys later.
Yeah, Kangaroo Jack is definitely up there. Shark Tale. I'm trying to think if I got any other ones. Only Finding Dory. You know what I'm saying? They don't have Finding Nemo, just Finding Dory. I finally saw Speed Racer after some friends kept telling me how much they like it. It was right. It's all right. It's not amazing. It's okay. I ended up buying it for digital. If you want to go back and check out the H&P episode where we reviewed that way back when. What's next?
I had a really great.
All right, I want to before we get into this, Mr. Bendis Technicolor here is one of my new follows. He has followed me back, and I'll tell you something right now. The first TikTok I saw from him was just saying everybody in the movie community, the TikTok movie community, is so nice, and I said, not me, I'm a jerk. And he took that with well enough, intention and everything that he followed me back and whatnot. And I want to say this: in the land of TikTok reviews and film criticism within TikTok, there are a lot of lazy people out there. I'm gonna count myself in that one, just so if anybody's going, well, you're lazy. Yeah, sure, I'm lazy too. But you know who's not lazy? This gentleman right here. He puts together fantastic looking videos. I like everything about this guy. #1, I like his clothing style. I like the style of his house and everything. When we start watching this video, you're going to see how he shoots stuff. This is an artistic gentleman right here, fellow mustache wearer. This is why I think Bendis is quickly becoming a big favorite of mine. Even though we may not agree on all the things, I still have become a fan of this guy. When you see how cool this video is, I think you will too.
Time with weapons, particularly its subversions of tone and structure.
Look at that! Look at that! Look at that! Look at what he's doing. He's already he's giving you a show. He's actually putting forth a little bit of effort. The rest of you bozos that just sit around and click, and we'll talk about it later, that just talking to your camera and just do one of these things in the most boring possible way that you ever possibly could, and you just want to jump off of a building because it's so flipping boring. Look at my man here. Look at my man here putting out MF and cinema, son.
Which can be seen in Zach Kreger's previous work, Barbarian. There are some jump scares that I felt were a bit cheesy. It's as if the choices to include them were there to remind the audience, like, don't forget this is a horror film, because I don't really see their narrative or thematic importance. It's weak at best, very tenuous. I also wasn't a fan of the length of the narration in the beginning. I think that you could have either cut that out or shortened it, and maybe given us something at the end, because I think the end, the resolution.
It did need a little bit of a bookend. I think that certainly could have helped. He's not wrong.
Leaves a lot to be desired. I think I would have liked to seen where these characters that we followed are now. What is their situation? Now, I think where the film excels is at disarming the audience. Weapons lulls you into different tones, perspectives, scenarios. And
listen, the rest of you people that are doing movie reviews, I don't do them like this. But the rest of you that do them, you could stand to do something like this a little bit, just a little bit. I mean, not like this. Don't rip him off, but I mean, put a little effort in, will you?
have to believe that it really worked for the majority of audiences, because it did for me. This isn't a small task, but I think that it offers audiences something different from the run-of-the-mill mystery, thriller, horror mishmash. And this film really works when it's leaning into and defying those genre conventions. Weapons really reminded me in a lot of ways of Ari Aster's Eddington, where comedy is sort of built in naturally. The community is spotlighted, making the situation feel multidimensional, and the end, love it or hate it, is just insane. I think there are some weak scenes in the film, some weak line deliveries, like they could have used another take, specifically coming from Julia Garner. She's a great actress, but I think some scenes just weren't her best. I wouldn't want her replaced in the film, but I just think that maybe she needed a second take. Overall, the casting is great, but look, Zach Cregger as a director is really coming into his own. And he's making some really daring choices. I think Weapons is a gargantuan accomplishment. And I truly believe that he was swinging for the fences with this. And
I'm telling you, like, even though I don't agree with a lot of the points and stuff like that, I agree with some of them, I disagree with others. Doesn't he do it in such a fantastic way that you don't hate him? So many other people out there just kind of like spill it out to you, and they just, I don't know, it just becomes like, bile or something. These seem like well thought out and executed critiques and everything. Big fan.
I think it really paid off.
I remember one time I said on this page, name 5 female directors that aren't Sofia Coppola and Greta Gerwig, and I got annihilated in the.
That makes me very, very happy, because they get that there's this whole thing about like, oh, we don't know lady directors and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. Us actual cinema fans, we know what the hell's going on here. We got it. We're doing a female directed sci-fi movie this week, or this month rather, on HMP in High Life. Yeah, lady directed. There's tons of them out there, and they do great jobs. And they're becoming more and more, and But I don't know. To me, this whole like, oh, like there are no women directors, and blah, blah, there are. Just shut up.
Comments. Like, excuse me for wanting film lovers to know about female directors.
Nah, you got caught. That's what happened. You got caught. You're like, I just wanted them to know other female. No, you wanted to shame other people and tell them you don't know all the things that I do. Here's the thing, man, though. Here's the problem with all of this is that you made this proclamation on the internet. I don't know what you know about the internet, but it is not one-to-one all the time. It is not live. So you going like, oh yeah, name a female director. Well, all anybody's got to do is just open up a web page and start looking and be like, oh, here's 50 of them, and just rattle them off to you. They got the cheat code right there, lady. What are you talking about?
You can name 5 male directors off the top of your head. You absolutely should be able to name 5 female directors off the top of your head. Thank you. This should not be controversial.
Who's I love it. She turns around and goes, no, you're the one who can't. Do the Wachowski count as 2 or 1? I'm leaving it alone. I'm leaving it alone. Excuse me. Don't believe Krieger when he says that John Carpenter used to be a prop comic. It's not true. Get her click. What the hell's going on here? Okay, let's keep going. We're not even.
Hot take: AMC A-list is bad for movie theaters and bad for you.
Oh, a hot take. Getting people into the cinema more often for a lower price is a bad thing. Let's find out.
Consumer. Now, I'm not some kind of corporate bootlicker. I actually actively hate AMC as an institution. I hope they all shut down. And
Man, what AMC do to this guy? AMC killed my mother.
It's not some kind of moral failing if you do use AMC A-list. It's a great deal. It's a great value. See those movies. It's a hard time out there.
Now he's going to shit on you. I was like, what?
My personal opinion, as someone without any kind of finance knowledge, I view AMC A-list as having 3 different functions. One, the original function was to push out MoviePass when that first started.
By the way, MoviePass was amazing. I saw so many movies with Movie Pass. It was just what a fantastic time that was, dude. We watched so many movies. That was the year I watched, like, I think over 150 films in the theater that year. Friggin' amazing, dude. So good. Movie Pass was so dope.
Started, and that kind of happened even though Movie Pass is back. 2, it's also to compete with streaming services, right? If you're spending $20 for Netflix, $20 for AMC A-List doesn't seem as bad in comparison.
Thank you. Which is great, right? How is this bad? You're not dissuading me so far.
Especially if you get to go to the movies. And 3, it exists to create a service that pushes out any independent theaters in the areas where AMC chains are operating, because I believe AMC A-List is at every single AMC movie theater.
Huh? First and foremost, there are very few and far between independent movie theaters out there. Charlotte happens to have one with the Independent Picture House, which was an offshoot of the Charlotte Film Society. Props to all those guys up there. Holler. I think I'm gonna go up there to see Jaws this weekend. Which, by the way, Jaws this weekend, everybody. Get out there and see Jaws on the big screen. If you're not going to see Jaws on the big screen, what are you doing? Even I've seen it on the big screen at least 5 times. I'm going to see it again. It is a different feeling than you will see any other time. Please, 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 please go see Jaws on the big screen this weekend.
But that's not the first time that major movie theater chains have tried to hurt independent theaters, and to that I need to mention a term that most of you might not know, which is clearance. Now, clearance used to be a really great practice. If there were a bunch of small, independent, single-screen theaters in your town, including in, let's just say, Baltimore, because Baltimore used to have over 175 single-screen theaters.
Seems a little overkill, yeah?
Yes, you see them all over the place now. Those movie theaters could not be playing the same movie as the movie theater next door, right? So it was a really great thing to make sure that business wasn't competing with each other, right? It allowed for all these movie theaters to thrive. Where clearance became an issue is starting in about the 90s. If you don't know, major movie theater chains started sprouting up everywhere. 12,000 movie theater screens were built in the United States, and guess what? Those major movie theater chains started playing by clearance. They started saying, you know what? All these movie theaters in my zip code, I don't want them to play Jurassic Park. I don't want them to play Mission Impossible. I don't want them to play, I don't know, Men in Black, right? And in my opinion, that breeds complacency, and not to critique any AMC.
Well, you could say that, but at the exact same time, too, you could also say that having market competition and stuff within the area, for example, Charlotte's has both AMC and Regal, and I think having competing movie theaters within the same, market and city and everything is a good thing, because that keeps people competitive with each other, and ultimately people will end up going to the better theater in one way, shape, or form, depending upon what better means to each of those people.
Employee, they're all being exploited, right? But think about this when
oh God, she's one of these people that's just like, everybody's always being exploited. If you're not paid $1,000 an hour, you're exploited. That's bullshit. Just shut up, dude. As a movie theater manager, a former movie theater manager, let me tell you, ain't nobody being exploited. Most of these are just kids working little jobs and stuff, dude. Just like, get real.
you go to your AMC, right? Was the Batman too dark? Was Weapons too dark? Was the speaker blown out in your auto?
Well, listen, you're not gonna hear me argue that the theaters don't need some upkeep.
Auditorium, was there a burn mark on the screen of the movie that you were watching, right? I'm specifically talking about an AMC in my area. They've had a burn mark on their screen for like well over 3 years at this point.
Listen, you're not gonna get an argument with me that they don't need to step up their game. They absolutely do, but that it doesn't automatically mean that like the independent people are better. It's not necessarily.
They should fix it. How much did your concessions jump up as soon as you bought AMC A-List or your movie theater got AMC A-List, right? How much was your popcorn? How much was your nachos, right?
It's always been expensive. And again, if you'll go back to previous in this video where I said ticket, popcorn, soda, all together, your cost should be $10. $10 for a 2-hour outing is so much more attractive to people that they will actively go out and go and take chances on movies they probably wouldn't normally go see. But if they can get in for a ticket cost of $5 or $5 or $10 for a drink, a ticket, and a popcorn, people will do that all day long, dude. Do it Monday through Thursday. And then on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, when the new movies come out, we bust up the price a little bit after matinee price and whatnot. I've got all those. I've got everything here, people. You just need to let me run the world.
Do the recliners even work in your auditorium?
Again, that's another one that pisses me off, and maybe another reason why we don't need recliners and everything. Maybe you don't need to take a nap. Maybe you need to watch the movie.
All these things. Lots of people in my comments love to say, oh, James, the AMCs in New York City or LA, they're all really great. I don't care. I don't care. AMC.
The one that's near me is not good, and I don't like it. I mean, I understand that, but you know, you can't take your one thing and apply it to everybody wholesale. But maybe you do that more than just movies.
Is evil, so are all the major chains. They've done so much to really harm the movie theater industry in this country. And guess what happens? AMC,
without them, the movie theater industry wouldn't exist in this country. It just wouldn't be here. I don't know.
Decides, you know what, it's not profitable to have a movie theater anymore, we're going to move out of town, and they've created movie deserts. If you remember growing up and saying, oh, there wasn't a movie theater for 45 minutes an hour.
Listen, there is a tiny little movie theater in the town that I live in. It is a mom and pop run place. They have not sold ever. I don't know who owns it now or how it all works and stuff, but they don't sell. They've been offered, you know, multiple millions of dollars because frankly, they don't want to keep a theater there. They just want the land that's on because it's in this. It was standalone. They built kind of a medical complex around it and everything, and so they wanted to take up that one last little spot here and put another medical building on it instead of a movie theater. But for whatever reason, I don't know why, the movie theater has never ever sold. My guess is that they paid off so long ago. And they're running on such, you know, kind of small margins here and everything. It doesn't cost much for them to run, and that's why they only, you know, operate like 3 or 4 days a week, and only for like, you know, 2 shows for each movie on their twin screens and stuff. So it's still out there, and like I said, this was a town that I grew up in that had like less than 6,000 people in it. Now some of them going to change, but again, you can drive 30, 45 minutes. We are America. I'm tired of us pretending like we're Europe or some shit, where like everything needs to be within like a 10-minute drive from you. Just get in your car and drive. Quit being a baby.
Hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. In some parts of Chicago right now, there are no movie theaters at all, right? That's because these major chains did all this. They pushed everybody out and they said, you know what? We don't want to be here anymore. And guess what? Nobody has a movie theater anymore. And that's why I fully believe that AMC A-List is designed to push out all these small independent theaters.
Oh my God. It's just what... They've got shit all to do with that. What are you talking about? All they're doing with that is just trying to get people. You can blame AMC for doing that, but A-List specifically for shutting down, no, that math don't math.
Might be saying, James, you're paranoid. What are you talking about? And that might just be because AMC has done this already to your town.
Yeah, you see, he's got to, like, you can't take your personal vendettas and stories and stuff that you've got and then apply them whole cloth to everything else. That's not how this works.
Wow.
Good grief.
A villain.
All right. So I got movie talks here, or real talks, whatever what's it called? Real takes. So real bad takes here is somebody that I've had some problems with and stuff in the past. And I was scrolling across, and listen, I don't follow this guy, as you can tell right there. But I was like, we're gonna see. We're gonna see what's going on and see what his take is this time. It's been bad before.
Villain. I do that. I play James Bond. Yeah, I don't think that would be a good idea. Why? Because I'm American. You good at accents? I could do an accent, but
he's good at accents. Is he though?
I think it would be kind of sacrilegious. Those movies meant so much to me, but I think that, yeah, I think it's got to be somebody who is from your home country.
I'm going to do a quick test, and the test is, if you would like to see Austin Butler play James Bond, please leave a comment. I don't think there will be any comments because I don't think anyone is asking for Austin Butler as James Bond.
Ladies and gentlemen, even a clock is, broken clock is right twice a day, right? Even a clock is, oh man. I'm telling you, I am surprised. Shocked and surprised. He's given us a great take. But my word. Now, I did have to do one thing post this because we're going to watch the rest of his video because, again, I feel like doing everything in context and learning everything that the man has to say. That being said, he talks unbelievably slow, so I pushed him up by, I think 20 to 30% just so we can get through it in a decent amount of time. Let's go.
I think we do this thing societally with actors, especially attractive actors. When someone blows up and has a moment, people think they should have every single role imaginable, and they think everything is a good idea. Personally, I'm someone who generally does not give a shit about race, creed, nationality, gender,
no surprise there.
Sexuality, whatever with characters, oftentimes does not matter, but sometimes it really does. James Bond is
That's my favorite. That's my favorite right there. It's just that self bullcrap right away. It's just like, hey, normally I don't care about things, but this one I do. Oh, what makes it different? What makes it different? No, I think you're a hypocrite is what you are now. Listen, I agree with your take. I agree with your take that it should only be a white guy. I don't agree how you got there, though.
A symbol of British imperialism and the British attitude that they can do whatever they want anywhere in the world. James Bond needs to be British.
Oh my God, I didn't get this far in the video. I just sped it up. Jesus H. Now he's going in on British imperialism. That's of all things, that's the reason. That's what you chose. My word. My word. So good. Let's go.
We're someone who comes from a place with family who have relatively recent understanding of how the British operate. Sean Connery was Scots Irish.
I was my ancestors from overseas. Who gives a shit?
Bruce Lazenby wasn't Australian. He was the only Bond not to be from the British Isles, but he only had one movie. And again, Australia was abused by the British into the 20th century. They're like 250 years removed from kicking the shit out of the British Empire. The same logic does not apply for Austin Butler. I mentioned David Niven because he was from London, even though we only got one spoof movie, which was Casino Royale in 1967, which also had Orson Welles and Peter Sellers and fucking Woody Allen. We had a Brit with Roger Moore, Brit with Timothy Dalton, then an Irishman who spent a lot of time growing up in London in Pierce Brosnan, and finally an English actor with Daniel Craig. I think a single person on earth wants to see Austin Butler pretending to be British as James Bond. Let me know.
No one does. You see how his videos are so much easier if we can go through and speed them up by like literally 33%. Homie talks so slow and monotonously boring. That is my problem with a lot of movie TikTok is you guys are friggin' boring, dude. You have no personalities. You are just like wet cloths. What is going on? You're just sitting over in the corner just, there's my boring ass. Speed it the fuck up, dude. Have some fun in your life.
In the comments if I'm wrong. And props to Butler for his response here. And I would like to see him as a Bond villain. I think he would crush that.
He would be a good Bond villain. A Bond villain, yeah, I think he could definitely pull something like that off. But I'm happy to hear that he doesn't want to be Bond. That's a good thing.
Why is the movie Tusk so effective?
I don't know that effective would be the right word for it. I did not care for Tusk. Tusk was also the last movie that me and my ex-wife saw together. So that, if that tells you anything. So we watched the movie. We both didn't, we both thought it was fair at best. And then we ate at a Mellow Mushroom that actually, that was pretty crappy. And that was like literally our last movie and last meal together to watch Tusk. I remember listening to the podcast. I was a huge Smodcast fan back in the day, back OG fan, back when nobody was listening. But I remember hearing the Tusk conversation at the, in this show, they're going through and describing everything that would eventually end up being in this movie. And I found it fascinating. And I laughed my ass off when they were, ripping the whole story. It's like, here's what's going to happen and all this sort of stuff. And it just didn't translate fully to the screen for me. But let's see what his take is. Old Longmire here's got some interesting takes, but and definitely a deep diver for sure.
It's very Dracula coded. It's about a man who travels to a rich guy's estate for work who then transforms him into a monster with shark teeth. The movie even has its own version of Van Helsing. This movie bleeds into a broader conversation of why are comedy directors so effective at horror. Because both genres share the same DNA of leaning into the illogical. It's either funny or scary because they don't make sense. Why are you so sweaty? Because I was watching Cops. Juxtapose that with this scene. She's alone in bed. She leans back, revealing a terrifying woman right next to her. They're executed the exact same way. Set up. Payoff. Logic collapses in both. It's either so ridiculous it's funny or it's so impossible it's terrifying.
So was Johnny Depp in that movie so impossibly unfunny that that's what did it for him? Because that's what ruined the movie for me was Johnny Depp's horrible performance. And that's saying something for Johnny Depp.
Fine. Rather than thinking of comedy and horror as two separate units, a good storyteller will conflate the two to the point where you're unsure if you're supposed to laugh or not. Tusk thrives on this. The premise is so absurd on paper, turning a man into a walrus should be absolutely absurd. But Kevin Smith plays it straight. The thin line between this is funny or
Kevin Smith plays it straight. However, Johnny Depp plays it like a mustache twirling Frenchman, and it's awful. It derails the entire movie. I mean, you've got everybody else in here is doing a great job. Justin Long's doing a great job. Michael Parks is doing an amazing job, hitting way above what this movie is absolutely worth. Yeah, Johnny Depp ruins the whole damn thing.
This is terrifying is exactly what makes the film work. I've heard people say this is one of the goofiest movies they've ever watched, and I've heard others say this is one of the most unnerving, and neither would be wrong. The more you think about it, the sillier it gets. The more you think about it, the scarier it gets. That is the magic of Tusk.
The problem is that like I don't know. As good as the makeup was and everything, it just felt like we got to the point and it just didn't feel satisfying overall. And again, it might be because I was mad at the broad beside me, but it is what it is.
This is why the film's follow-up, Yoga Hosers, didn't work for a lot of people, because it ditches this and leans more into being an absurd comedy. I hope is when he completes the trilogy with Moose Jaws, he gets back to form to what made Tusk so special. I actually think Kevin Smith is a very underrated horror director. If you've never
Red State is fantastic. I saw Red State on that Kevin Smith tour and everything with the ex-wife. That's funny though when you think about it, because that was one of our first big things, was going to see Red State together, and then we ended it with Kevin Smith. I only just thought about that now. That's interesting. Thanks and no thanks, Kevin Smith. Maybe, I don't know.
Seen Tusk or Red State, you should definitely check them out. Please let me know in the comments down below what you thought of Tusk. As always, very curious to hear your thoughts.
Stinky, and I don't know how you got through this entire thing with those tusks on your face and not be like, well, you didn't. Mordecai was in Tusk, essentially. Yeah. Ooh, that's a good question though. Which would I rather watch again, Mordecai or Tusk? I think I saw Mordecai with my ex-wife too. I think Johnny Depp is actually the reason that all of this shit fell apart. I think we're starting to make sense of this stuff. Should have made a film version of Harlan Ellison's "I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream." I've always heard that title, but never known nothing. What's next?
It took me another 2 months of work, but I made a movie theater.
What the sweet hell? We got a cat inside of... All right, let's see where we're going with this. These people are unbelievable, man. The people that do like little weird miniature stuff, it's like, what gets you into this? What triggers this that just goes, I need to make things tiny.
But I don't want to let the pets play in it because I love playing in here too much.
What?
Mr. Nice and Tutu plan to go downtown today to check out the new movie theater that has just opened. They've got 3 hours before showtime, so Mr. Nice went back home to check in on his young nephew.
What?
He's been staying at the mini house lately, and clearly...
Has anyone ever seen anything like this before, where like this guy's made an entire world for his cat? Holy crap.
Not cleaning up after himself. Let's just assume someone spilled a very large drink on that bed.
Bro, they
and
got
get those
another one
sheets
in there.
in the washer ASAP before things start to smell.
They got a washer dryer for these cats? Damn.
Once the nephew was squared away, Mr. Nice headed to the movie theater to meet Tutu.
Let's get the little...
His rodent friend was already there waiting for him in the front row. Mr. Nice prefers sitting further back, but it looks
He's gonna eat you, man. I know how this movie go.
like he's too big to fit in the seats anyway. I guess
man.
he'll have to sit on the sticky floor.
My God, the amount of work that went into this little video. Holy snot, dude. I wonder who hurt him in the past to cause the trauma. Right? I don't know that this is one where you just go like, everything in my life went fine, and then I started to make little miniature everythings. Filmed another video to then project on the thing to make them watch. What is their thoughts when they see themselves projected, I wonder?
Hey everyone, Shing here. In order to make my mini cinema, I had to 3D print more than 1,000 separate parts.
Who does this? Who does this? This is madness. I love that he's doing it, but it's utter madness, dude.
It took me 2 weeks just to assemble all 150 seats for the theater.
Crap.
It took me another few weeks to build the theater walls and the ceiling and then decorate it. Although the production was difficult, the sense of immersion is super high.
Man.
You really feel like you're in a theater here. In order to get the pet's eye view, I made the center section of seats removable.
This dude is something special, man. Holy smokes.
Wow, this is amazing. When you look at it from this angle, it really feels like you're in a movie theater.
Nuts, dude.
Holy crap, you snuck up on me. What are you, some kind of cat ninja? Next time, I'm leaving him at home so he can't scare me like that again. Okay, that's it for today's video. What do you think?
Are you doing one of these videos every day? My word, that is insane. There you go. It's 3D printer crazy. Heck yeah, dude. That's nuts. Whew.
What else would you like to see next? Please leave a comment down below. See you guys next time. Bye.
There's another lady that makes things for like her like rats and stuff or other little rodentia. She does all kinds of things from like the set of like TV shows like Home Improvement and like Friends. What are some of the other ones that like I think the Roseanne one, Full House one for sure. So there's all people making these wild miniatures and stuff out there. It's pretty cool. What next?
Hollywood studios aren't playing offense anymore. They're playing defense with the smoking fumes of the industry.
Producer Patrick is back again to let us know how Hollywood is going down the drains. What do you got for us, Patrick?
Hi, it's producer Patrick bringing you the latest in the ever-evolving film and TV industry. With thinner margins, heightened financial risk, and mounting pressure to stay relevant, each of Hollywood's major players seems to be foregoing innovation and entering full-blown survival mode. At Disney, Bob Iger is leaning into his go-to Mickey Mouse strategy. Reboots, sequels, and franchise extensions.
Nope. 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 That's not how you're gonna do it. You might do a little that might supplement some things, but that's not going to save your business. You need new stuff. You need interesting stuff. You need stuff that will be able to go on. And you don't need to spend that much damn money on it.
Are being framed as, quote, great opportunities. But according to The Wrap, Disney Plus audiences are showing fatigue. The flood of Marvel, Star Wars, and remakes has worn down even the loyalist. And
we did a podcast for 10 years, over 500 episodes, talking about superhero movies and television programs. 10 years worth of programming. We were tired. We're tired, boss. I'm tired. So then we just moved to the movies proper.
Iger's response is, unsurprisingly, to reinforce what worked last year, with more films like Moana 2 and Inside Out 2. Stay consistent, stay safe, and hope that the audience sticks around.
Don't innovate. Don't do anything interesting. But if indeed you do try to do something unique and interesting, do it to the point where it's woke and nobody likes it. Do that.
Further down the
This has worked so well so far.
101, Universal is taking a defensive stance. Legal notices are now baked into the credits, warning AI firms and pirates alike, unauthorized use of its content will trigger legal action.
I swear to you, if I'm going to start seeing AI bullcrap at the front of my Blu-rays and stuff when I put them in, I don't already like seeing all that crap on account of I'm the one who paid for it. Put it in front of pirated versions.
In a world where IP is under constant threat, at least Universal is treating protection as strategy. And Paramount? Well, that's a total reset. Following the completion of its $8 billion merger with Skydance, David Ellison is now CEO and reportedly pushing a stripped-down structure of the studio. A tech-forward strategy.
Strip down is what you guys need to be. You got too many things. You've been fattening the calf way too long. You got to slim it down.
And an urgent push to rebrand a legacy operation for the streaming age. But as anyone in the industry will tell you, the merger of tech and artistic storytelling often goes together like oil and water. And as for Warner Brothers Discovery, Warner Brothers, they're just tightening.
Man, what a flush down the tube we did with all that Discovery bull crap, wasn't it? We all knew that was bad from the get-go, and then, boop, there you go. No time at all.
Their slate, with plans for just 12 to 14 theatrical releases per year, focused on DC, horror, animation, and a couple of modest originals. But that strategy paid off this quarter, with Sinners and Minecraft helping deliver a surprise profit and lifting HBO Max's rebrand. Each studio is reacting
It's rebrand back to the original HBO.
To Hollywood's crisis in its own way. But the instinct is the same. These aren't pivots, they're survival tactics. Meant to protect what's working, shed what's not, and stay in the game long enough to try to rebuild momentum. Still, the next chapter of Hollywood is going to belong to studios willing to take risks again. ones that will embrace innovation and act with purpose.
See, their version of Risk is, I'm going to spend a lot of money on this movie that's probably not going to make anything. That's their risk. That's their problem right now, is that they could just go like, we'll just throw a bunch of money at it and see if it works. Oh, what do you mean it don't work? Oh, man, we should have thought about that. Money's not solving your problem. Money's not where the problem is at. It's in innovation. It's in storytelling. Y'all got none of that.
As always, would love to hear your thoughts.
Thanks, Patrick.
Weapons is the best and probably the most important horror film of the last decade, and
I stopped this, like, when I originally got this video, like, I had to stop for a hot second because I thought this was Zach Krieger, the director of Weapons. I'm just like, how are you gonna talk about his own movie? And it turns out it's just a white guy with the. I mean, look, we all got the same glasses, so I mean, they give them out at the white guy store, I think.
I have a lot to say about this movie, so if you haven't seen it, do not watch this.
Yeah, but I've seen it, so we're good.
Let's start with Aunt Gladys. Aunt Gladys, the initials AG, I think is a clear connection to Assault Gun. We also...
You think it's pretty clear? You just made a big old guess, my mans, but all right.
To the assault gun hovering over Josh Brolin's home in his dream. Aunt Gladys's spells only work through self-harm. It is through self-harm that Alex is able to control the children to stop Aunt Gladys. The only way that he breaks the cycle is to continue the cycle, but himself doing it. So this film, in this allegory, explores self-harm, abuse. When Aunt Gladys shows up, his parents give a warning. Don't wake up Aunt Gladys. Don't wake up the assault gun. And as soon as he wakes her up, he is distanced from his parents. He can no longer communicate with them. Alex becomes fully isolated, and at this point, he has to lean on Aunt Gladys. So we see mental health explored, we see isolation explored, we see bullying explored. And I want to point out how this film starts off. Kid narrator says, this is a true story. This
Yeah, but it wasn't. That's a lie.
all really happened, but they never solved it, and it's so embarrassing, so they covered it up. This is clearly an allegory for what is happening in schools over and over again across.
Okay, here he's getting passionate. My God, if I know we were going to be all like, I don't know that I would have picked this video. My God, let's see if we can rein it in here, but I doubt it.
This country. We act like it's a boogeyman. We act like there's no way to stop it, like it isn't entirely preventable.
No, it isn't, because if you outlaw guns, only outlaws will have guns. Do you not know that simple old ass statement? Come on, don't be stupid. Don't be stupid. It's just like, yeah, we have you have to be a certain age to buy guns and stuff like that. Does that mean a kid should be able to have? You got the worst. This is so stupid, guy.
And so the perfect allegory for it is something unexplainable. These are just my initial reactions. I need to regather, but I'm going to have a lot more to say about this.
Yeah, I probably hope I don't see it because I have a bad take. What's next?
DVD freaks. We're DVD crazy. Freaks.
Walmart DVD commercial from 2003. Let me tell you, that's a prime era for getting onto DVD, boy.
Live our lives one DVD at a time. Walmart's home entertainment department. We love it. DVDs are spectacular. The picture quality is amazing.
You can feel like you're in the movie.
You can see it, you can hear it, you can feel it.
Look at that TV, son. Projection. That looks to be about 50 inches right there. Hell yeah.
Everything is combined into one little disc. You gotta have a good TV to watch DVDs. We got our entire home theater system at Walmart.
Sound system.
DVD player.
TV. From RCA.
To Panasonic.
To Sony.
This is the prices down here. They're low. What you want? What you need? Get some DVDs.
At Walmart.
Man, we used to be a country. We used to have good things, didn't we? Lord, a Walmart that sold DVDs and televisions and whatnot. Man, what a time. What a time. Love the way that commercial is directed. The only thing that was missing was like a can of Surge or something like that. Pair of Jinkos.
See if you can guess the movie from the steak.
Man, I saw this one and I was like, bro, you know I got to check it out. I didn't watch any further than this because the idea itself sold me. We're going to name a movie from a steak. Let's go.
And our first steak.
Oh my God, that is Napoleon Dynamite. I didn't watch any of these videos, but I feel like I'm pretty dead on with this one.
Okay, dude, for some reason, this one was not on my radar. So seeing Kip sneeze was like a jump scare. Yeah.
Cook my steak. Well done. Of course, that's how you do it.
Yeah, this is, of course, Napoleon Dynamite.
Napoleon Dynamite is correct. Right before he slaps Napoleon in the face.
Did you know in this scene, the dude who plays Pedro he wasn't supposed to ride away on the bike, but he did to save himself from laughing on camera?
Too funny, dude. All right, great start. On to our second steak.
Let's go. That is from The Matrix.
Ooh, God, that looks good.
Mm-hmm.
And because it looks so good here, I think it looks really good in the movie,
is,
right?
From The Matrix.
It just made you want a steak, but he knows it's not real. Over there.
Yeah.
This is The Matrix.
The Matrix is correct. I got to tell you, the most appetizing meal I've ever seen in a movie.
Dude,
this steak. You know, it really helps it. Joe Pantoliano's little soul patch here that goes all the way down past his chin, man. Very, very disturbed, as it were.
Looks so good. Great job, dude. You are a strong 2 for 2. On to our third steak.
All right. Animated. Claymation. It doesn't look good enough to be a Wes Anderson animated film. I'm going to say Chicken Run. Seems like an unobvious choice because they're dealing with chickens. I haven't seen Chicken. At least not in enough time where I can remember anything from it, but that's all I got.
That looks good too, man. I'll tell you. The bone in. Is a dog about to eat this?
Close. It is an animal.
A cat?
Yeah.
Is it The Secret Lives of Pets?
Tiger.
Very close as you could be.
Lion.
A lion, yes.
Madagascar.
Madagascar is correct, yep.
Well, I'm an adult, so I wouldn't have known that.
Looks so good when he chows down on these.
I couldn't agree more.
3 for 3. On to our fourth steak.
All right, tomahawk, bone in. It doesn't jump out at me. Let me take it closer. Hold on. Maybe it's not a tomahawk, but I don't know.
Is this the what is it? The old 96er?
The old 96er.
Yeah. Gosh, man, I'll tell you. This is the Great Outdoors.
Great Outdoors is correct. Well done, man. I was curious if you
I hadn't seen that since I was probably just a wee little tyke.
were going to tap into that.
On the wooden on the piece of wood.
Shot with the chef staring down at him the whole time he's eating. You are 4 for 4. Heck of a round here. Let's finish it off. Fifth and final steak.
Shit. Oh, this is from Twister. This is from Twister. Because it was one of these things that when you see it, you're just like, eggs take 5 seconds to cook. You've got these steaks down here for 2 seconds, and then you plop in the eggs right beside them. You're going to overcook or burn the eggs, or you're going to have to take, like, why would you do that? I know it's for the visual of like, hey, we're making steak and eggs. We're going to cook them in the same pan. Then how about you have the steak be almost done before you plop in that first egg there, dingbat?
Steak just looks good. I don't know how else to say. I thought of Sarah Connor making those. I know it's not right. I don't know why.
Sarah Connor be wearing pink stuff, don't she?
I saw the watch.
Time frame, you're maybe a decade off.
No.
E.T.?
Not E.T., but you're still about a decade off.
Trying to figure the vibe of the movie, you know?
I would say Calm Before the Storm.
Oh, my
Perfect
God.
Storm?
Just give it away. Why don't you?
No, not the Perfect Storm.
Twister?
Twister is correct, yes.
Twister. Okay.
Man, I told you, boy. I told you I'm pretty good at this game. I ain't seen those other 2 movies in forever and a day, so it's tough to say. But
well done. Yeah, this is Aunt Meg's Steak and Eggs. Gravy's so good it belongs in its own food group. You know what I mean? That's that's this scene.
Good old Philip Seymour Hoffman brought in at the last moment for that thing, and boy, oh boy, what a difference that makes.
Good list of steaks, dude.
Took you a little bit on Twister, but honestly, for how old it is, you nailed it.
I'm eating steak tonight. I'll tell you that right now.
Hooray. What's next?
So what's your take?
The recliner seat has ruined the movie-going experience.
Correct. Correctamundo.
100% disagree. I happen to like the recliner.
Of course you would. You like to nap, don't you? You a napper. You one of them napping fellas. I need to take a nap. I need to feel refreshed. Sleep at night. Be an adult.
Of course you do.
What is that supposed to mean? Of course I do.
Of course you like to lay back like you're in your own living room. It's a public place.
Yeah, stop getting so comfortable, you grossies.
Yeah, let's all lay together.
Okay, no.
And here's the thing, and then you know it. I know you've seen it. I know you've been in a theater where it's happened. Somebody goes, hey, we're gonna throw this thing on back. We're gonna kick off our shoes. People took off their shoes in our theater, and we didn't have carpet, brother. We served food. We didn't have carpet, and fools took their shoes off. We didn't have recliners. But they still took their shoes off, man. It's gross. People's gross.
But there are data points and there are vibe points.
What are the data points?
The recliner takes up the square footage of 4 normal movie theater seats.
Thank you. Correct.
So they have to charge more.
So they charge more and there's less seats.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah, I'm understanding.
The vibe part about it, how are you gonna accidentally brush your hand up against someone's leg if you're on a first date or share popcorn or share a cheeky first kiss? It's
correct. You got so much space in between you. You're leaning way over there. You ain't cuddling up with nobody. And that's if you get lucky with one of the ones where you can flip up the arm and everything. Rare, but every now and then you might come across that. But I don't think so.
That is true.
Far away.
That is true. First date at a recliner movie theater, you cannot.
No,
do the
you can't
recliner.
do it. You can't do it.
Because you need the.
Yeah.
Wait, it starts with this.
If we're in a recliner, it would be like.
Hey.
Okay, the other thing is like if you have to go to the bathroom, you're doing the. Are you kidding
Okay,
me?
She's making a lot of good points.
Recliner did kill the vibe. I'll say that.
The recliner killed the vibe.
I'm selfish, and I'm old. I only want to go to the theater with a recliner.
I only want to go there so I can fall asleep in the middle of the movie and have paid money to sleep in public. Doesn't that sound like a great plan?
But there are certain situations in which I would go to see a movie that has no recliners.
Like when you go to an indie movie theater.
Support the local indie cinema. I'm in.
Here's the thing is that people can go to the indie cinema and also watch our movie.
Oh yeah, we have a
that
movie.
we
This is an ad, brother.
wrote together.
We have a movie. It's called Or Something.
It's playing at the Quad Cinema in New York City on 13th between 5th and 6th, August 26th to 28th.
There's no recliners, but people should go.
People should absolutely
They should
go.
definitely
No
go.
recliners here, folks.
Buy some popcorn.
Yeah.
Bring a gal or a guy. We're going to be there opening weekend.
Yeah, we're going to be there opening weekend.
We're going to do a Q&A.
Moderators lined up.
Jerry Saltz, Daniel Arnold.
Huge.
It's a walk and talk, New York classic walk and talk in the vein of films such as
Before Sunrise, My Dinner with Andre.
And others. Love when that happens. And Cashew Nut.
This has become a commercial for the movie.
No shit. That's what I was saying.
And you know what? I'm okay with that.
I don't know that I'm okay with that. I thought that little card was given the double bird. What's that say about me? Imagine has Imagine, am I reading that word right? Has cuddle couches with privacy walls, best movie seats ever. So, man, then people are getting handsy. As a former movie theater manager, I don't want to have to clean that. And trust me, I would be the one that would clean that because they'd be the ones that they'd go, I'm not touching it. And then, like, you're either going to have to be the one that cleans it or we're all just going to get venereal disease. What's next?
I know this might come off as super controversial for a lot of cinemaphiles, but I truly believe that there are films that you do not need to watch in their entirety.
Ooh. All right, let's see what her argument is.
To understand their impact on cinema history.
Okay. This seems a little bit loosey-goosey. You don't have to watch them in their entirety to understand their impact on cinematic history. Now, to a degree, I believe that we can that can be argued. Let's see what her take is, and we'll rebut.
And this is coming from someone who has seen a lot of those films and realized, man, that is precious time that I'm never going to get back. I could have just seen 3 scenes from those films and understand what it's about. Okay.
I mean, listen, you could only you could walk into let's say this High Life Blu-ray is the Mona Lisa, right? It's out there. You could just go, one of those, look at it real fast and stuff, but did you really look at it? That it's, I know it's a person. I know they got eyeballs and a nose and a mouth and stuff. But, it's I only kind of saw a little bit of it, but I got the gist of it. Is that how that works?
Okay, I understand their impact. I did not need to see the entirety of Triumph of the Will. I did not need to see the entirety of Birth of a Nation to understand its impact in cinema history, okay?
No, you don't have to. But, if you do, you're a more well-rounded person, no?
Quite literally, all those films sitting through it, I'm I am...
You were bored. Let's call it. You were bored.
Wasting my time. These films are garbage.
Okay, see? Then you didn't learn anything. You didn't learn anything. So, I mean, and that's fine. Sometimes we don't learn. Sometimes it takes several times in order to learn something. Why do you think that they had the Teletubbies do the same thing 3 times? Because kids were dumb and they couldn't get it. So you had to nail it into them as many times as you possibly could. And then eventually they got it. And it was also super smart because they only had to produce 1/3 of a show every single time.
You want to know a film that doesn't get enough credit? Blade from 1998.
If anything, I think Blade almost now gets a little bit too much credit. It was good, but they act like if Blade didn't exist, we'd have no superhero films, and that's a bull.
Yes, I know the movie was a hit and that it got 2 sequels and that Blade even appeared in the most recent Deadpool movie. But if we rewind 25 years, you would find a wave of action movies that are all ripping off The Matrix. They would all have these zero-gravity fight scenes like The Matrix, where the choreography has them flying around the room.
Good old Yin Wu Ping, man. He really brought that to America, and we flew with it hardcore, baby. For good and for bad.
All this wire fu because they were on harnesses and wires carrying them around, and then they would use CGI to erase the wires. The action scenes would be set to a techno soundtrack.
Just Brothers. Chemical Brothers, any kind of brothers.
And people would be doing kung fu while wearing black overcoats and wearing lots of leather and buckles.
Hell yeah.
But when I saw The Matrix in April of 1999, all I could think of was, oh, they're doing Blade. Somehow they have ripped off Blade in
Didn't think that at all, not me.
less than a year.
You know what we all got from Blade when we were in high school? You know what everybody came back with? It was the scene that impacted us the most in Blade was him cooking crack or whatever it is. But it looks like it's not what he's doing, but he's cooking up some sort of drug or whatever. And we were all just like, hey, man, Blade's a crackhead. All right. Hip dive.
Including the fight choreography that borrows heavily from Japanese anime and the way the characters fly around the frame.
Yeah, but Wachowski's definitely admitted as much, certainly even at that time, that they were wild, crazy anime heads and stuff like that, which really makes you, I won't court controversy.
There's even a bullet time sequence, like the thing that made The Matrix famous, where he's able to move so fast because of his computer hacker powers that bullets appear to be going in slow motion for him. That was in Blade 8 months earlier. That's not enough time for The Matrix to have stolen it. The movies were in production at the same time. I'm just saying there are lots of world-altering trends that happened around this time that Blade did first. For example, the year after The Matrix, the X-Men film would come out and mark the beginning of the dominance of superhero franchises in Hollywood. And people would remark on this era of superheroes wearing black leather to appeal to older, more mature audiences.
So much so that they literally, make fun of it within this film and stuff. It's like, you guys really go out in this? He goes, what would you rather have? Yellow spandex? And they look at it like, well, I don't like that shit. And, this is where we rolled.
It's
It's like, yes, what a bold, creative risk you're taking. When Deadpool came out and people were asking, well, can you have an R-rated superhero film? It's like, well, Blade was very much an R-rated film. The way the franchise handles the subject of race is noteworthy.
You got to remember that.
And the sequel, directed by Guillermo del Toro, I think is one of the greatest comic book films ever made. I think.
We reviewed all those films on HMP. A little overrated Blade 2, I think. I think a lot of people, Guillermo, and like, he's good, but
the only reason it's not brought up more often as being influential is, one, Wesley Snipes fell out of favor very quickly after this. He actually went to prison for a couple of years for unpaid taxes. But the other issue is the effects don't hold up. It has some of the worst CGI you're going to see in a mainstream film. But in every other way, it was truly ahead of its time.
It's all right. What's next?
It's a movie that makes you go, I think we saw completely different movies. There's those movies that you leave the theater and you either love or hate, and then when you see other...
Okay, boy, if you loved Megalopolis and you hated Smile, I don't know that we're friends. Now you can love to hate Megalopolis, and you should. I wish people could see that movie, man. But old Francis Ford Coppola says the only way that you're going to be able to see that is if you pay for a ticket in a movie theater, because that's the way I designed it. Shut your mouth. And Smile was fantastic.
People's reactions, you're confused as to why they either love it or didn't like it. For instance, when I think of Highest to Lowest, I enjoyed the film, but I see a lot of people, even my mutuals, who disagree with my thoughts and sentiments.
See, at least somebody saw it. Somebody saw it. Jamal, somebody saw it. You didn't see it. What happened? And I love how he just goes like, oh, it's not playing anywhere near me. We're in America, mate. You drive here. You get in the car. This isn't 15 minutes to every place in the world. You might have to get into a vehicle and traverse this great, wondrous land of ours. Do yourself a favor.
And that's an okay opinion, but it feels like we saw two completely different movies. Another film that I feel like I enjoyed way more than other people was the movie Drop. I am a Drop defender.
Yes, I agree. I think Drop was way underrated. And again, that was a movie that I knew nothing about, save for its name. That was it. I knew it was called Drop, and it was a Blumhouse flick, and that was it. I knew nothing else. And good for me for not knowing, because I didn't know what to expect.
Campy, I think it is fun. On the flip side, a film that I thought I would enjoy is The Greatest Showman. While I did enjoy the musical, I remember leaving the theater and not loving the film as much.
It's pretty good. It's not ultimately amazing, though.
So what are some examples of films that you feel like you had a different perspective than other people once you got done?
In mid-90s. But the movie...
Oh, my God. I accidentally skipped back all the way to the beginning by trying to hit pause. Jesus H. I don't know where I was. All right. I'm not too far off. Thank God. All right. I thought, oh, no. All right. Here we are. My goodness.
Agree with my thoughts and sentiments, and that's an okay opinion, but it feels like we saw two completely different movies. Another film that I feel like I enjoyed way more than other people was the movie Drop.
Come on, baby.
Agree with my thoughts and sentiments, and that's an okay opinion.
All right,
but it feels like we saw two completely different movies. Another film that I feel like I enjoyed way more than other people was the movie Drop. I am a Drop defender. I think it is campy.
How's it going, chat? Let's look at you while we. It all
makes
makes sense. The Wachowski siblings are a fan of Roma Half. Hey, listen.
Not loving the film as much.
You're not
So
wrong.
what are some examples of films that you feel like you had a different perspective than other people once you got done with the film?
Experience I recommend to literally every human I interact with, even if they're not into film, even if they're not into movies like that. I always say, go see your favorite movie at the movie theater.
Yes. Or a movie that you have seen before, you might like, and maybe you even have like the smallest of inclinations that you might want to see it on a big screen. Do it. And the best time that you have to do it is this weekend. You can prove it this weekend by going to see Jaws. 50 years ago, Jaws came out in cinema and changed everything forever. And as much as summer blockbusters became a thing, every single beachfront hotel now has a pool beside it. Yeah, that didn't happen before Jaws. Jaws made people literally scared to go into the water that we brought the pools to the beach condos. It's insane. go see Jaws this weekend. Go see any film that you know is going to be spectacular on a big screen. It will change your opinion.
And I'm not talking like a movie that you've seen recently. I'm not talking about a movie that you saw 5 years ago and that's your favorite movie. I'm talking about a movie that came out like before you were born, or that you grew up with but you never saw it in theaters just cuz. I say this because I really forget how different it is seeing a movie at home versus in the theater, especially if it's a movie you really like but just like never saw in the theater. It will literally alter your brain chemistry. Like, I saw Sleeping Beauty this year on 70mm in the theater.
Ooh,
amazing.
70.
I've seen Eternal Sunshine in the movie theater. Like, that is so special to me, especially when it's a movie that is older. Like, I'm talking less than a decade old, because sometimes if it's, around a decade old, they're pretty casual about just kind of throwing it back in the theater every now and then. But if it's an older movie, it's kind of an event if they're putting it back in the theater. That means
50th anniversary of Jaws.
that enough people care about it, and it's just like really cool, especially if it's something really niche. Like, I saw Frankenhooker in the theater this year.
Nice.
I didn't know people cared about that movie enough.
Hey, listen, man. Frank Hiddenlotter fans are devious little animals who will go out and see that. And again, that's like, Frank's movies are the kinds of movies that you need to see with an audience, to react to all the gross crap that's going on screen. That's you need an audience for that kind of stuff. You can do it at home, but it's just not the same thing.
To have it be put back in the theater, but I saw that and it was so cool, because that just makes me think, I'm like, oh, this is how people saw it back in the day. That's how they saw it whenever it first came out.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it's so cool to me. It's because it's kind of it transcends time, kind of. I think what I'm trying to say is, if you see your favorite movie is having an event at a movie theater, or it's playing in a movie theater again, and go see it. Like, don't think, oh, I've seen it before at home, I don't need to go see it in the theater. Go see it in the theater. Go take your friends. Go, have fun. Because trust me, I literally never regretted seeing a movie that I've seen for the first time at home, seeing it again in the movie theater. I've never regretted it.
So with that said, like I said, Jaws 50th anniversary out in theaters this weekend, and then come mid next month, Apollo 13 25th anniversary coming back to IMAX screens. So that's coming out as well. Go see these movies on the big screen if you have not before, and even if you have previously, I think you should do it again, especially for things like Jaws. It makes all the difference in the world. All right, what's this? Bring back physical tickets. I agree.
I think that we should bring back the good physical tickets.
Yes, thank you for making that absolute distinction. Good tickets. The tickets that they print out now are just on regular kind of receipt paper and stuff. They're garbage. You need something that's like that little bit more kind of card stocky sort of thing, like we had back in the day when we were a proper country.
I guess it depends where you live, but at the movie theater I go to, they print the tickets on these very thin little receipt papers.
Awful.
I'm not gonna keep that.
It's stupid.
And then obviously a lot of people don't even bother to print the tickets because you could just have it on your phone. But I miss the actual physical, the nice tickets. Those were things that I liked to keep. And then you can look back on it and see all the different movies you've seen, the date and the time that you went. It just brings back so many memories. And I've seen people hang them on the wall and stuff, and then make a whole little theater room out of it. It's so cute. We need to bring back physical tickets.
Piece of crap movie. It was underwhelming.
I thought I had my my old ticket stub book in the. Let me see if I've got it in this thing. Hold on. Nah, it's not in here. I got a whole thing that's got probably well over 200 plus tickets in it from all throughout the years and stuff, everywhere from Charlotte to Orlando and back, and they're haphazardly thrown around. Is The Princess Bride a good movie? Apparently this guy didn't like it. What the hell?
I mean, exactly. But here's the reason. Okay. When you see a movie fresh like that,
Wow.
You get all of the references.
Maria Palmer has
I
left
know,
the
she
studio.
walked out. She's going to miss me explaining why I didn't enjoy it.
Okay, go ahead.
Which is basically all of the references. Oh, she's back.
Oh,
Here.
she brought a garbage can into the studio.
She doesn't have any friends anymore. No, Maria.
Are you putting yourself in the garbage can?
I don't know that that's how you should do that. You should try to put him in a garbage can because he have a garbage bag take. Actually, he doesn't. I'm going to be honest with you, Princess Bride. I think it kind of falls apart in the third act. That's right. That's right. The movie gets slow and a little bit boring come the third act. First act, fantastic. Second act, pretty darn good. Third act, a little bit sleepy.
Going to, but there's actually like a banana peel.
Did you finally realize how bad that movie sucks? Is that why you're putting yourself in the garbage can?
Maria, here, you got to hear me out on this.
I don't have to hear crap.
Yes, you do. So I didn't, it was underwhelming for me because I had 20 plus years of references and they're everywhere. It is a cult.
I can see how this could be a distraction and how it could kind of lessen a movie because you've seen all the things before. Inconceivable, like you've seen that, you know what it is. You've killed my father, prepare to die, all that kind of crap. So like I could see how you could have that complaint.
Classic, and everybody recites and recants parts of the movie. So when I got there, I was like, oh, this is that part. Oh, this is that part. Oh, this is that part. There were no surprises.
Yeah.
Movie's perfectly fine. Will I watch it again? Sure, in time, but just, yeah.
It sucked.
Hey, listen, I don't think the movie sucks, but listen, I think it might fall apart sometimes. It all makes. Oh wait, so let me. Alex got another one here. Jaws, Trimmer, and The Thing triple feature drive-in indie Saturday night. Holy smokes, crazy! The Thing. Okay, that's what that was. Yeah, Jaws, Tremors, and The Thing. Damn, that's a good old time right there.
What do you think is the greatest year in film history?
I think we all kind of know, and my guess is he's probably going to point it out. Let's see how she rolls.
Single year that had the most great movies. My vote would be 1982, as this person points out. Crazy to think that Blade
82 is pretty good, but and I was born in 1982, so if any time to take a 1982 and go like, ooh yeah, 1982, I'm gonna take it as a 1982 baby. You dig? I don't think 1982 is the answer though. Let's go.
Runner, The Thing, Conan the Barbarian, Tron, The Road Warrior, aka Mad Max 2, Star Trek 2, The Wrath of Khan, Poltergeist, and E.T. were all released within 2 months of each other.
I don't think Conan's that great of a movie. I don't think Tron is that great of a movie. Wrath of Khan's good. Poltergeist is good. E.T. is fantastic.
In 1982. I realize that a lot of my younger viewers have not seen a lot of those movies, but
you get with it, kids. What's wrong with you? Why are you broken?
Objectively, the cultural impact, not just of those films listed, but the stuff that came out the rest of the year, like Fast Times at Ridgemont High and Dark Crystal, the first Rambo movie, First Blood, and other films that hardly anybody watches today, like 48 Hours and Night Shift and
Hey, we covered 48 Hours on HMP in our Eddie Murphy month. You're welcome, America.
Death Trap. And that's not even getting into the award-winning Oscar bait stuff like Gandhi, Sophie's Choice, An Officer and a Gentleman, Tootsie, Diner, the Werner Herzog film Fitzcarraldo. Those were all from 1982, and the crazy thing is that a lot of those films bombed at the time, including a lot of the titles that were later regarded as classics. And part of the reason is that the landscape was so
because E.T. just stunk all of them. E.T. was like, what? Was it 30-something weeks at number one? Maybe a little bit more than that. Ridiculous amounts. It would sometimes fall off to the number 2 spot next week. Boop, right back up to number 1, baby.
Crowded at the time. Blade Runner and The Thing both got totally swamped by E.T.
Everybody did.
A film that when it came out became the highest grossing film of all time.
Yeah.
The only reason kids don't watch it today is because it never became a franchise.
And those kids are what we call dum-dums. If you haven't seen E.T. and you were a child, you are a dum-dum. If you are a parent and you have yet to show your child E.T., you too are a dum-dum.
It was never remade. But in 1982, this film absolutely dominated the culture. Do you remember those few years when Minions merchandise was everywhere? Okay,
Lord.
that was nothing compared to the ET merch that just flooded.
I was, I was a baby in 1982, so I didn't know the ET merch. But let me tell you, I don't know that anybody competes with Batman merch. Come 1989 Batman, I don't know if anybody can bang against that, man. That was an onslaught like no one has ever seen before.
Every shelf in every store. You had some all-time classic films come and go because people were going back to see E.T. for a fourth time. If you think there is a year in cinema that beats 1982, reply and tell me what it was.
A lot of people say 1987. I'm up too late right now. I've been up since 4:30 in the morning, so so I don't look retarded.
Your favorite shows are no longer getting canceled.
That's a 2 for 2 with producer Patrick. My goodness, TV shows going off the air for good. One can only hope.
They're getting erased. Hi, it's producer Patrick bringing you the latest in the ever-evolving film and TV industry. Streaming platforms are quietly deleting entire series overnight.
See, and this is what I call bullcrap. And again, another reason that physical media is a fantastic thing. Because guess what? HBO's not... Hello, we would like to have your what do you call them there? What's the series? The Wire DVDs, please. Give me your DVD wires, please. Give them, please. Get out of here, dude.
Not because they failed, but because it's cheaper to scrub shows rather than keep paying residuals.
So dumb. But that's Hollywood for you. They haven't done anything smart in quite some time. So who's shocked? Raise of hands? No one? No one? What do you know?
Or hold on to those episodes as assets. Warner Brothers Discovery pulled nearly 40 titles, including Westworld and Infinity Train, and also plans to pull Sesame Street by 2027, leaving creators blindsided and voicing their frustration online. Paramount Plus has already pulled South Park from international libraries. 26 seasons vanished overnight for subscribers outside the United States.
Whoops-a-doodle. But if you own those, like for example, if Disney decided to take off all of the Simpsons off their streaming, guess who's got seasons 1 through 17? All at my disposal. All in perfect, beautiful DVD order, looking good, sounding good, all with special features and, a commentary for every single episode out of those 17 seasons and the, 30-something episodes? It's unbelievable, dude.
And beyond the cultural
Can't get that on Disney Plus.
loss, there's also a financial one. Once the show is erased, the residual checks stop.
Yep. You are the architects of your own demise. This is all your own friggin' fault.
For writers, editors, and crew, days or years of work suddenly stop paying. So here's the real question. Shouldn't creators have the right to preserve their work beyond the streamer?
What's this? What's this? What's this? What's this? What's this? These are all the movies that we're covering on HMP in the month of September. I got these. No one's taking them. They're mine. Even the digital copy, bullcrap that's on here, if somebody takes that away, doesn't matter. Guess what? Disc's still here. Still there. Still mine. And you know what? They got paid. They got paid for this. And if you sold a whole bunch more, they get paid a whole bunch more. We used to live in a society, people.
As always, would love to hear your thoughts.
Thanks, Patrick.
I never knew anything about this whole, did Han shoot first Greedo thing?
I stopped this right here when I saw it because it infuriated me. There's no Han shot. There's no who shot first. There's only one shot. Han Solo shot Greedo dead. That's it. He's a scoundrel. That's his MO. That's what made him a cool character. It's made him dangerous. If he kills Greedo just to make sure that he can't go back to Jabba, guess what? He's a scary character then. He's a guy you might not actually be able to trust because he just murdered this Neimoidian here like nobody's business. Then George Lucas decides to really screw everything up by then taking us back to the Millennium Falcon for the first time, mind you, to the Millennium Falcon. And then we horseshoe in a bad CGI Jabba the Hutt, which they redo no less than 4 times. Each time getting successively better than the previous, but not by a lot. That scene then ruins the reveal. Because the way that Han Solo is talking to Luke and Obi-Wan about this ship and stuff, hey man, this sucker's fast, dude. Made the Kessel run under 12 parsecs. She's exactly what you're looking for, man. She's super fast. And then they get there, and we, like Luke, for the first time, come across the Millennium Falcon, and comparatively, it looks like a piece of junk, so much so that Luke Skywalker himself looks at the vehicle and goes, what a piece of junk. Because we feel the exact same way. It looks like a clunker. But you've ruined that with the Jabba the Hutt scene previously. That was already a reiteration of the Greedo scene. It was the same scene, but instead of Jabba will have a price on your head, I'll have a price on your head. That's the only difference. It's so stupid. George Lucas, what is wrong with you? Can't you just leave well enough alone, my man? And no one's ever shot. And this homie didn't know any different. This is almost even sadder to me because it's not like this guy's like 25 years old. And if he is, my God, what happened to you? Did you see war? He's at least in his 40s. Come on.
Until recently. He does shoot him in the original. Then they make a remake to where Credo or whatever shoot.
Well, we know he's a huge fan of Star Wars if we're calling him Credo.
Shoots him first. Yeah. Han moves his head and then
No. Well, okay, yeah, in the remake.
Shoots him. And then they make another.
They didn't sync it up with his words. That's like they tried a little bit, but could have tried a little harder, I think.
Another one where they like both fire at the same time, and I find this
there's again, that's another one where they redid it 3 or 4 times because they couldn't get Han Solo moving out of the way and make it not look like absolute and utter garbage. You printed a movie in 1977. That's the one you owe us. That's our movie. That's not your movie. The one you released in 1977 is our movie. Give us our movie back, please. And it exists. We covered Kathleen Kennedy talking about it not too long ago. You can make it happen, you pieces of garbage. You just choose not to for whatever reason.
So dumb.
I do too.
That they said that because Han just shot him, that it wouldn't make us like Han Solo.
Oh crap, it made you love him because it's like, oh shit, this guy is dangerous. It was good, man. That's what we wanted.
Or that it would ruin like the PG rating of the movie. Or like
there used to be boobs in PG rated movies, my mans. Come on, they didn't care back then.
Take away from like his likability, which doesn't whatsoever.
No,
because he's a character that gets.
And at the same time, too, Greedo is pressing him. He's pressing him for the money, and he's like, "I told you, I don't have it with me. I've run into some trouble." And but I'm telling you, I'm going to just tell Jabba I'm going to have his money. And Greedo wouldn't have any of that. He's like, I'm going to kill you. So instead of getting killed, Han Solo does what a scoundrel would do and just shoots a man in cold blood right there at the cantina. And he does the right thing and goes and tips the bartender and says, for the mess. Have I seen Star Wars a few times? Yes.
Things done and is out for money.
He's not
until he's not.
Yes, he's not like a protagonist of this movie.
Yeah.
He's like a fence rider, and I like that.
Exactly.
I like Han so much more than I like Luke Skywalker because he's got depth of character, and he's got like, dude, I gotta make money. I owe money. Like this guy's gonna kill me, and I gotta do this. So fuck it.
He's gotta do what he's gotta do. Exactly.
I'm gonna shoot this guy and then I'm going to tip the bartender to clean up the mess because I'm a nice guy.
And I'm fucking cool as shit.
That's why you like him. That's why Han Solo was such a cool character, dude. Come on.
The American film industry does not like...
Oh, it's my Zach Krieger lookalike. You remember? I guess I got him again. I'm lucky because I don't watch the movie. Like I said, I don't watch these when I put them in. I'm lucky I got them in the right order. This looks like his kind of follow-up here. I'm probably not going to like it based upon what we saw in the last one, but here we go.
female horror directors. And it's no surprise because horror is a mostly male-dominated genre. And even when you go into the female directors who have received a chance from studios who have had success, very few of them are American.
Oh my God, here we go again. My God, why is it the movie talk, movie TikTok community is just so, just insufferable male feminists? It's just no thank you, dude. Golly, it's just like the bending of, like, I like women, I respect and love women as much as everyone else, but it just seems like you guys are just like, please love me. I love you, women. You love me, please. Coming off as too desperate.
So I wanted to highlight an up-and-coming female film director who makes fantastic horror films, who I selfishly want to see make a feature-length film.
Now, I'm going to be the kind of reactionary that these guys would normally be on these sorts of things and use their own logic against them. Who are you? Who are you as a man to come out here and start telling us what good women directors that we should be looking at? Who are you, man? Shouldn't we be getting a woman to tell us who the best women directors are? I mean, the assumption that you make and say, hey, I'm a man and I know all the best women directors. Here's my list. Watch my list. Seems a little presumptuous to me.
Her name is Megan Brooks, and 2 weeks ago she released a short film called Pop Monsters. I'm not going to spoil this film for you. I'll tell you about the premise. It is phenomenal. You need to go watch it on YouTube right now. Not for nothing, but the film features Avantika, who you might recognize from Mean Girls. 4 young friends are hanging out at their rich friend's house. She goes to the front door and she finds a letter from her dad. That letter contains 2 tickets to the most exclusive, highly desired pop star concert of the summer. Charlotte, the character who received the tickets, says, "Who's going to go with me? And what are you willing to do to get these tickets?" What unfolds is a deliciously shot satire exploring the lengths that people go to, the relationships that they destroy just in order to experience this pop star moment. And it's a beautiful criticism of the cannibalistic nature of pop stars. Watch it, support it. Megan Brooks' name needs to be everywhere so that we can see a feature-length film.
What was the name of that that Natalie Portman flick where she was like a star or some crap like that? Damn it. What was it? Vox Lux. It's kind of the opposite version of this.
Made by this.
I got in a fight with a guy who's just like, because the idea with Vox Lux is the girl that would then grow up to be Natalie Portman when she was a child. She was in a school shooting. She was like, she wasn't a victim of it, but she was, there when it happened and everything. And she got like famous off of that and then like catapulted into a music career and stuff like that. And this guy, he couldn't come to grips with the fact that they put a school shooting in film for whatever reason. That kind of broke his brain. And he was like, I can't support. I'm like, it's not a good thing. It's not endorsing school shootings. So I'm not sure what he was going on about, but like, he could not process the fact that he's like, no, I can't believe. And they didn't really show anything. It was just like, it's like one of those things where like blood splatters on, an adjacent person's face that's not even directly involved in the violence that's going from my memory. So you don't see anything shocking. You're just like, oh, somebody was killed. And then
amazing, talented woman.
All right, well, your simping duty's over for today, sir. Good job.
I bet if the young Spike could look at this Spike, he'd say, "What happened to you, man?"
First of all, I would agree. Second of all, I hate Touré. I'm going to go ahead and I'll put on record in saying that. I have not been a fan of him all the way back in the VH1 days when he was on all those reaction channels. I didn't like him there. I hate him more on TikTok and stuff these days. He's a bit of a nuisance. He is a super rich Gen Xer who kind of embodies what I will call all of the horrible aspects of Gen X is inside Touré over here. So if you want to know why I hate Gen X and stuff like that, in many cases, people like Touré are very much on top of that list. Here, however, I don't know that I'd necessarily disagree with that. I think this gentleman would, by the look on his face. He seems to be a little bit miffed on this. Let's see what we got cooking.
To say that a younger Spike Lee would be disappointed with Spike Lee today is baffling.
Really? Because Spike Lee, if anything, definitely wants to be successful. Don't let Spike tell you otherwise. Spike Lee wants to be very successful. Unfortunately, Spike Lee has had a very hit and miss career. And with Highest to Lowest coming out, and very few theaters that are out there, Spike doesn't have the pull that he once did. There are other, prominent black directors that are coming into the game. They're younger, they're crisper, they're fresher, and they're doing great jobs. And Spike's becoming irrelevant. It is what it is. He's becoming an older man. It also is what it is. Tough to have a lot of that swagger and stuff when you're 60.
Spike has had some duds, no doubt. Old Boy, She Hate Me, Girl 6, The Sweet Blood of Jesus.
See, at least he knows the bad ones.
I'll admit those films aren't great. But to say he's lost his way, that he no longer knows why he's telling the stories
I don't know that I disagree with that, though.
he's telling, is just wrong.
Late Spike has been a lot of clunkers. He made He Got Game and Inside Man, which were both fantastic.
Yeah, Inside Man was fantastic. I would say Inside Man was probably Spike's last fantastic film. There's been other good stuff. Black Klansman was really, really great up until The Last Shot. Just again, like Do the Right Thing. He kind of F's things up in the coda. So what'd he do?
But there's also Chirac, She Hate Me, Girl 6, Higher to Lower, and a lot of forgettable films.
Tons. Spike has far more misses than hits. And if you think otherwise, you ain't looking at the filmography right, my man.
Because look at the body of work people like you conveniently skip over. Crooklyn is one of the most heartfelt family portraits you'll ever see.
But no one saw Crooklyn. It is what it is.
Spike grounding his story in love, memory, and community. Clockers digs into cycles of crime, poverty, and survival.
Clockers is fair at best.
Painting a picture of the way systemic issues trap people. Get on the Bus is literally about black men of every background coming together for the Million Man March, putting their differences and their lives on the table to talk about what it means to be black in America.
And the late era lacks the sense of purpose that the early era had.
And then there's Bamboozled. Spike.
All right, you can,
Spike tearing into the way media exploits and dehumanizes blackness, holding a mirror up to America's long.
Holding a mirror. This is Spike holding a mirror, everybody. Oh, man. Bamboozle and stuff. Some of Spike at his preachiest. It's just like, brother, please.
Long, ugly history of entertainment. It's biting, it's sharp, it's one of his best, and it's
very masturbatory, which is Spike Lee's way.
Underappreciated. 25th Hour wrestles with grief for
pretty good. It's pretty good. I'm trying to remember the order of which I've seen some Spike movies, but I remember this being like a big thing, seeing it because he hadn't had a movie in quite some time when 25th Hour came out, and Edward Norton was really kicking and stuff. So it was like, oh, sweet. And again, one that's not directly, related Spike stories and stuff. What do you know? Those movies tend to do a little bit better.
Regret and the shadow of 9/11, even Miracle at St. Anna, which people argue about, has meaning. It's about black soldiers.
Well, every movie's got meaning, my man. Come on now, let's not be silly.
Soldiers in World War II, their sacrifice, their humanity, stories that rarely get told on screen.
I don't know why he's telling the stories he's telling now.
And then we get
why? Yeah, but why? For example, why is he trying to retell in whatever form or fashion an Akira Kurosawa film? Why is he trying to redo, Old Boy? What's the point of any of these things? Why do that?
Get into the late Spike era. Black Klansman is a rallying.
Listen, Black Klansman, I would say, Black Klansman was his last pretty darn good movie. Again, the bit that you always try to throw in of your social conscious bull crap at the end, Spike Lee, drops the ball as per usual. But if you stop right before then, you're fine.
Right. A straight up confrontation with white supremacy that earned him an Academy Award. That film has more purpose in a single sequence than most directors muster in a career. And The Five Bloods. That film is a meditation on trauma, on the scars war leaves behind, on what America still owes its black veterans. Delroy Lindo delivers one of the finest performances in recent memory, and Spike shapes the story with.
I will say this though, I can't speak for that film, hadn't seen it, but Delroy Lindo in Sinners, probably his best performance. I thought. Like I said, I hadn't seen this flick, so I couldn't tell you. But one of my favorite Delroy Lindo performances was in Sinners. And for those of you that have followed, I like Sinners well enough, but I wasn't bananas about it like the rest of you guys.
The urgency
good.
and meaning. That's the thing. You don't have to like every single film. You don't have.
Don't worry.
Have to love the execution, but to act like Spike no longer has purpose ignores what these films are wrestling with.
Well, but you've got to reach people. But those movies no one saw, and to some degree or another, even though like your film might be good, in order for Spike to remain, in it and relevant and stuff like that, he has to do things that people are going to see. And they ain't seeing his movies lately.
Each one, whether they land for you or not, is digging at something bigger. That's always been his drive.
But it doesn't mean that he's accomplishing it.
The truth is, the only Spike films I'd ever say genuinely lack purpose are Old Boy and The Sweet Blood of Jesus. Everything else has intent behind it, even when it doesn't fully come together.
Again, you can say that about just about anything. It's got people, they had intentions. Okay.
And that's one thing I'll never, ever take away from Spike. His films always mean something. So the idea that he's lost that is ridiculous.
I like Spike well enough. I don't absolutely love him, but I'll say this: the man's a little overrated. And I guess the biggest problem that I have with Spike is Spike's own ego. If Spike didn't have the ego that he has on him, I think I'd probably like him more. But he's got little man's complex. He's a little dude, and like he likes being in charge because he's a director. So little man likes being in charge and stuff. He's gonna have. And if you get any kind of success early, and he certainly did, you're going to get an ego on you. You're going to puff up that little man chest to walk, as high as you can. And I don't blame him. He had a huge career on account of it. But, just because you're walking like you're the shit don't mean you are.
You can always tell a video essay YouTuber is running out of ideas when their video titles start changing from deconstructing, examining the deep intricacy to just, am I the asshole?
That seems to be the premise of most of my videos, is me just saying, am I the asshole? And some of you saying yes. Thanks for joining the fan club.
Reading Reddit's craziest subreddit, part 1.
Yeah, some of these people, they don't give a sweet bullcrap about anything. Well, that will do it, everybody. We have gotten to the end of yet another TikTok Trash Tuesday. Woo! Lordy Lord, we have had a bit of a time here today, haven't we? Yeah, I think we certainly have. I want to thank you guys for coming by, hanging out, talking in the chat, all of those good things. We really appreciate you. I'll let you know we are doing all space movies come September, and we are starting out. Where the hell did I throw it? Where's it at? Why is it? Here we are. We're starting with Galaxy Quest. That's right. Galaxy Quest has hit its 25th anniversary, and we'll be talking about that on the podcast come Sunday evening. Actually, that's not true. It's probably going to be on Saturday. It's going to be on Saturday at some time. I'm not sure when the live show will be. Hopefully, you'll show up for it. And you find out that information by hitting that like and subscribe button, ringing that bell for the notifications so you know when things are going on. And that's it. That's it. So thank you guys so much for hanging out. Alex, thank you, buddy. Yeah, I sound terrible, I'm sure. It is not doing well, coughing. It's been, hopefully by the end of the week, we'll crash it all out here and everything. But hopefully better than that, I get a new bed on Thursday. So let me tell you, we're looking forward to some sleep up in here. That is it, everybody. I don't know what else we're doing. I don't know when else we're doing it. But outside of that, adios, dirty babies. Have a good night, guys. Let's hit this.